Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Afton and I'm Monty's Tarot Child. Today I have a very special pick a card that I am bringing to you. Based on the title, you can see that we are taking a look at how you are building or strengthening your relationship with yourself today. This is a general reading. This is a general pick a card, so take only what is supposed to resonate for you, what is only meant to resonate for you, of course, per every reading that I do for you. And please leave the rest, the things that don't feel aligned to you within this reading. I do feel like we are going to be going in depth about not only your relationship to yourself and how that has transformed over your life, but also how it is transforming right now for you currently. So I'd love for you to just take a moment to pause and meditate on which one of these 4 piles is most accurately aligned to your energy. And I will see you in your reading. Hello, pile number 1. Welcome to your reading. You chose this crystal, which is one of the more unique ones that I have in my collection. I am unsure of what this crystal is called. I don't really actually remember where I got it from, but this is your crystal for your reading. I'm going to put it off here to the side so that you can still visually have access to it. And we're going to get started with your reading. Just gonna jump right in and start with the first card that we have for you. So you cannot make a mistake. There are infinite possibilities available to you. And the question states, where is your heart guiding you? Okay. And so based on the energy that I'm getting just off of this, this card, your first card, I feel as if you are being led to do something that is strengthening and deepening your relationship to yourself. It may be a commitment that you are in the beginning of making, a commitment to something, and it's in order to grow yourself and to aid in your own personal growth. What Spirit is letting you know is that you cannot make a mistake in regards to this endeavor. There are so many possibilities available for you, infinite possibilities available for you in regards to the situation in your life and how you are deepening your relationship to self. And you are being called to trust your heart in this guiding process. You're being guided towards something. And in the process of strengthening the relationship with yourself, deepening it, building it, you are learning how to trust yourself, learning how to trust your heart. And for some reason, I'm hearing learning how to trust your heart again. So very interesting. With the number 3 as the focal point of this card as well, I do feel like there's some sort of communication that is taking place for you. Either you're initiating it or it is being initiated for you in order to speak up about something within this endeavor. Let's see what else Spirit wants you to know about how you are strengthening and building your relationship with yourself. Pile number 1, please, Spirit. How? Okay. North Node with Destiny coming out in 12th house with Surrender at the bottom of the deck. I will channel both energies. I'm not necessarily going to read through them completely. So the North Node is an astrologically, the North Node is not a planet. It is an aspect of the moon. And with the North Node, it is typically tracking our destiny, where we are meant to go towards. Again, being guided towards. You're being guided towards your destiny at this point. And so this energy holds a learning curve. It will actually, as we find that we are pursuing our North Node and we are pursuing the qualities of whatever zodiac sign our North Node is in, we find fulfillment in our purpose as well. When we are, again, going towards our destiny, following what is calling us towards our destiny, we also find a maturation within our own energy where we look and we see ourselves maturing based on experience in our life. The North Node can also promise fruition, the fruition of something. Something is manifesting for you. And typically with the North Node, it feels like a new lifestyle that could be coming into fruition for you as well, or a new path. I was actually thinking about seeing path, the word path here. I'm going to go on a small tangent. I was literally thinking about paths yesterday, and how everyone's path shifts and changes based on decisions, but also the things that take place and happen to that person. And so I was thinking of it in the mindset of giving birth. When a person gives birth to a child, that actually creates a whole new path that did not exist before you gave birth to that person. That's a lot of responsibility, because that person then goes and finds their own destiny one day as well. They find their own purpose. Birthing a whole human being is altering. It shifts the energy completely. And to see path here, this is what it feels like as well. It's not necessarily that you are giving birth, but it feels like there's a new path that has kind of like exploded into your awareness. And I also see blossoming here, and we had the roses, beautiful roses depicted in your first card as well. So something is opening up to you. You're being called to follow that light, to follow that center, to be guided. Strongly, you're being called to be guided. And this is deepening. This is deepening your relationship with yourself. Again, trust in the fact that your soul, more than anything else, your soul knows the destiny that it was sent here for. And subconsciously, you're being called to surrender to that, even if it is a little bit frightening, even if you don't have all of the knowledge at hand that you would wish to have about this new beginning, this opening up. There's something about your dreams existing within this. And if I'm looking at this correctly, there's a locked treasure chest right here in the center. And I feel like that is what is trying to be depicted throughout the cards that you have here, is that you are accessing something different. You're accessing something differently at this time. And another rose here. So roses may be a symbol to you, and symbolically roses, they represent beauty. They represent life. Sometimes they can represent romance, but they can also represent a lot of different things that equate to what your reading is speaking about here, which is growth, heart warming growth that is taking place in your life, that you are being guided towards. And there may be something that you have initiated within this relationship to yourself that has activated this external awakening, that has moved a certain energy in order for you to progress forward. So this feels like you have done a lot in regards to getting to know yourself and getting to know what you want and who you are. And now there's a portal, literally a portal opening up with the North Node here, allowing you to access your destiny and your life purpose. Very big reading here. Very big reading here, pile number one. So I do see that you are getting in touch with your spiritual development. This is not only personal growth, but a spiritual growth as well. So it also just feels like this really big spiritual awakening that you've just gone through. We have trance states here, the unseen, healing. So something transpired, and it could have been subconsciously, less noticeable than normal with the 12th house here. And it is opening up some kind of energetic portal for you. I'm going to check into the Oracle with the Dear Self Oracle. This is one that is pretty unique to me, to this channel. I feel like I have not seen anyone use a deck like this, and that is because it has, I'll just show you the bottom. It has these fill in the blanks, pile number one, that you will be able to do privately while watching this video. You can either pause it and journal about it, pause it and reflect on the answers, and then we can continue on with your reading. And also, I may, depending on what card comes out, I may fill in the blanks with certain examples that could be helpful for you to just stir up some things as well. So I'm going to look and see how it is that this process is connected to you building and strengthening your relationship with self. A message from pile number 1, self, please. Thank you. Very beautiful. We have a number 6 and another number 3 at the bottom of the deck. I will read both. There it says feel, so you may be feeling something at this moment. And both of these are these beautiful green hue colors. So that also reminds me of your heart chakra. And maybe you are, especially with the roses as well, you're doing something to activate your heart chakra, romanticize your life more a little bit, beautify your life more a little bit externally, to help encourage certain internal feelings as well. Anyway, this card says, I'm no longer available for experiences or people that make me feel empty. I'm in control of creating an environment and experiences for myself that support my preferred mood. Instead of blank, I lovingly choose blank, blank, or blank, all of which are options available to me that shift my mood in a more satisfying direction. This is really very beautiful energy, pile number 1. So for an example, it could say, instead of worrying, I lovingly choose to surrender, let go of worry, or, choose a healthier perspective, all of which are options available to me, which you also had, there are infinite possibilities available to you. You have infinite possibilities of how you want to approach a situation, how you want to approach feeling good in even just day-to-day experiences. This is how you are strengthening and deepening your relationship with yourself. You are absolutely understanding what you are available for and what you are not available for, what is available to you and what you don't have, like what you no longer want access to in general, and what you no longer want to have access to your own energy. So you are done with situations, people, or experiences that make you feel empty. I feel like this could be a number of situations, or it could be anything in your life that card may represent. And the opposite of those feelings of emptiness and misunderstanding is represented through your North Node. Again, it's like there's this duel of energy, something you're releasing in order to move forward towards, which I feel like that is all, how we are all progressively going about our spiritual journeys, is leaving certain things behind, things that can't go forward with us in order to progress. So the bottom of the deck energy says, I feel my most energized and ready for the day when I take the time to blank, blank, and blank. Committing to a routine that includes these things means I'm taking charge of my day, and I'm giving myself more opportunities, again, to feel good all day long. So you have something about opportunities just keeps coming up for you. Lots of opportunities in order to do what's best for yourself, in order to, what does it say? Taking charge of your day, which of course we can only prepare for so much within a day. We don't have the control to control everything. We're simply human. In order to take charge of your days, to make the best out of whatever happens, like make the most out of it. And so when you take the time to maybe drink a certain amount of water a day, stretch and breathe, you can have these certain smaller tasks that, they may seem small, but they make your body feel good long term. So being able to commit to these things and build a routine for yourself is how you are strengthening and deepening your relationship with yourself at this time. It's again, aiding in that building of trust in order for you to surrender. I think it's harder to surrender when things feel out of whack and we feel like we must control in order to make things feel more stabilized. And sometimes we can only stabilize ourselves. We can only do our best to stabilize ourselves. And the environment is going to continue to shift. It's going to continue to turn. I am realizing that the 12th house is on the bottom of the deck, and 1 and 2 breaks down to a 3. So you have 333. You could be seeing this number a lot. It just came into my awareness. But you are doing very specific things, I feel like, saying no to very specific things and yes to very other specific things in order to, again, build and strengthen your relationship with yourself. So I want to see what the angel numbers have to say about how you are building and strengthening your relationship with self. Okay, beautiful. You have, I am wealthy. Wow. With 88. I love that for you, pile number 1. You are on the cusp of a prosperous and abundant spiritual life. Wow. What do we say? And I like that it says that you're on the cusp, meaning it's on the horizon and you don't know how many more steps will take you there, but you are on the cusp of it. You will find numerous opportunities, pile number 1, for success and achievement, all of which bring financial and material abundance into your life. You are wealthy. Like, this is now 1, 2, 3. Is that 4 cards that speak of opportunities for you? Options and opportunities, pile number 1. So it feels like you, have literally something coming in. At this point, with so many cards saying it, and with the I am wealthy card here, some part of you focusing on your relationship to yourself and ensuring that it deepens and strengthens and you feel solid within yourself, it is building a form of wealth for you. Spiritual wealth, abundance, an abundant spiritual life is what you have represented within your destiny. You are destined to make this wealth not just appear. You're destined to manifest something in your life right now. You're doing this, again, by the relationship of self. You also have I'm adventurous, which for some reason makes me feel as if you are going on an adventure in order to test out this energy. But it says, you have a zest for life and you are eager to experience anything and everything possible. You love change and excitement and need both to feel truly alive. For you, life is an adventure to be lived to the fullest. And I think this is how you definitely get in touch with yourself as well. Not just through traveling, but through experiences, seeing yourself through experiences, seeing yourself when you have felt the most abundant and when you have also felt the most depleted of energy, resources, or support. And so you are looking for more of the fulfilling adventures in life. I feel like you also feel like you are destined to, because for some reason this 23, this I'm adventurous, it feels almost Sagittarian, of being adventurous and wanting to experience many different things and having the possibilities be infinite for you to experience many different things. It feels like Sagittarian energy. You could have your North Node in Sagittarius. You could have Sagittarius over your 12th house if you understand what that means astrologically. But I feel like, yeah, because you even have journey on here with the North Node. I feel like it's not necessarily just about traveling, but there's something about journeying and experiencing something that's not just in your immediate environment. Very interesting. You are very zesty. You are like not in constant movement, but you are in constant experience. It feels like you constantly are looking for a certain level of richness in life. And I feel like because you have faced the depletion of energy and the depletion of resources as well. This is an energy that you miss with it being under the bottom of the deck. You miss being this explorative person. You miss being able to have these opportunities to do and be. And I do feel like as you are deepening and strengthening your relationship, these opportunities are also opening up for you. Pile number 1. So let's see through the Essential Oil Oracle how it is that you are deepening and strengthening your relationship to yourself. Okay, we have the bottom of the deck and 1 card out. And of course, the Essential Oil Melissa has the keyword purpose, because we're talking about your purpose here in the North Node. Trigger statement: what is the point of it all? True statement: I am special. You have a unique place in this world with gifts and talents that only you can provide. Use your connection with the divine to share them. This is a part of your destiny. This is something that is awakening within you as you are, again, deepening your relationship to yourself. Purpose, 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 destiny, destiny, destiny. You have a unique place in this world, pile number 1. And I don't feel like you have always noticed this about yourself or allowed this acknowledgement of being special. Saying this to yourself may feel triggering, that you're special, because other people have tried to convince you that you weren't, or just your environment in general not supporting you and feeling special, not supporting you and feeling unique, or that you have a unique place in this world. Honestly, you could have come from an environment that took the approach that life is meant to be mundane. It's meant to be lived ordinarily, and that just doesn't feel connected to your energy. So you're releasing it. You're releasing it. You're not saying, oh, what is the point of living this amazing existence? Because you know very much so that that's all that you want to do. You want to make the most out of it. I feel like the most out of your life. You want to fulfill the calling that your heart feels as if it was sent here to do. Not just travel or experience with people, but to teach and also to learn, which is why I feel such Sagittarian energy from this reading. You want to pick up the things that you experience in the world and share it with others. And that is called teaching. It's also called learning, because you learn something from that experience as well. You're not just giving to someone else. You're receiving some kind of knowledge within every experience that you have. And I feel like you have felt like that has been running low, like your cup has been running low on these magical experiences. And I'm here to tell you that this is coming up through a reading about yourself and how you are relating to yourself, how you're treating yourself. And I don't see any cards here that is saying that you are actually hindering any kind of spiritual growth or progress. That's a really good thing, pile number 1. But there is this underlining tension, which is here at the bottom of the deck, saying that you are trying to release, you're trying to surrender, you're trying to let go. Tension says, I have nothing left as a trigger statement. The true statement says, I nurture myself, period. Dear one, it is time to settle, create a sacred space where you can be. In that place of rest, healing will unfold. Healing is promised for you at the bottom of the deck. And even with the 12th house, I believe there was healing here as well. Yes, you have a lot of themes around your reading, reiterating themselves, saying, not only is this a restful period, this is this is a projection period as well, where you're about to project yourself forward into a different existence, into your true node, your North Node existence. And the North Node, having a destiny, it never ends. It never depletes. It never runs out. You will always find something within your destiny to heal and help heal within another person, and to uplift the existence of the world. I think that's the purpose of all of our purposes, whether we feel like we are meant to be a healer or not, whether we use that terminology or not. There is something here that you are meant to do, that you are being led by your heart to fulfill for yourself. And this is in order to uplift other people as well. But we are here just talking about you, pile number one, and your relationship to self. But I do feel like that's an important thing for you as well. And yeah, it's time for you to release certain tension around letting go and releasing. What else? Any details for pile number one and how they are strengthening and deepening their relationship to self? Some of you could actually be physically tense as well around the shoulders, neck, trying to stretch, do a shoulder roll. I'm literally doing it right now, pile number one. Doing a shoulder roll and then a neck roll in order to release any tension can help for you physically, but surprisingly spiritually as well. You have the Four of Pentacles. Okay, so I'm going to use a brief example. And of course, as I mentioned in the pick a pile portion, take only what resonates for you, pile number one. The Four of Diamonds, or the Four of Pentacles, in correlation to all that we have been talking about, I do feel like there's someone specifically out there saving up for a trip, or you are holding certain resources together in order to manifest the ability to move. With all that Sagittarian, the journey, the adventurous, I am wealthy. It's like, yes, you are wealthy. The Four of Pentacles can sometimes talk about like a tight pinch, but with wealthy here, it does feel as if it's a tight pinch in order to use your wealth in a very specific way at a very specific time, like buying a plane ticket or a bus ticket or some kind of ticket in order to experience something. And this could be, for some reason, I'm feeling like a luxurious experience, which is why you have the saving of coins here. It doesn't have to be, though. It doesn't have to be all that glamorous, social media type of experience. It just has to be meaningful to you, I feel like. And because I can see you saving, storing things away for the time of when that is meant to happen, I do feel like this is an important time for you. Like, I feel like you doing whatever it is that you intended to do. Yes, Knight of Cups. It makes sense to me. Doing whatever it is that you intended to do with your saved resources is in order for you to romanticize yourself, to wine and dine yourself. I feel like this is building up for you. With the Knight of Cups here, typically people will read it as someone is approaching you with a love offer. They're trying to romance you or whatever. Honey, I feel you doing this for yourself, like strongly. Saving up your coin to treat yourself, take yourself somewhere that is beautiful on the eyes, that is peaceful in the spirit, peaceful to your spirit. A card flip over. We got the Queen of Cups, yes. And through this, I feel like you are deepening your intuition because something told you intuitively to take the specific movements that you will be taking whenever you will be taking them. And it starts off slowly of a hint or an idea of, oh, I should cook more in the house. I should cook more in the house. It'll save me some money. Money for what? I don't know. Like maybe you haven't even thought about traveling. You just know that I just know that you're an adventurous person, but maybe you haven't even thought about traveling for some time now due to the environment with the pandemic and COVID still happening. And so something intuitively has told you still start cooking in the house, start doing small things that allow you to save up money in order to provide yourself an experience that fills your cup up and that nurtures you. You also had, I nurture myself as the true statement, period. That is the Queen of Cups. That is what the Queen of Cups does. She nurtures herself. And some part of this, again, is a part of your destiny, is a part of your purpose. I'm like, this energy, pile number one, I'm going to continue to use examples, so please take only what resonates. But this energy here feels like you are saving up your coin to move somewhere like tropical, isolated, even sometimes maybe, but like not just like an island, but I'm like Bali, like like somewhere, India, Africa, somewhere that is not where you're currently at, that will be more ideal for you to be in. It's a part of your destiny. For some reason, I heard that specifically for someone, but again, please take what resonates. Not everyone will be moving. Not everyone is interested in moving. I understand that. The Queen of Cups is saying, I do what is best for me. The Knight of Cups says, I move when it's best for me to move, when I feel it. And so right now you're playing this waiting game of storing and waiting, desiring of the time when there can be movement again. And I feel like this is, again, strengthening your relationship with yourself. You may be taking a more patient approach than normal for this to happen, because you want it to happen like fully. You want it to be a very fulfilling experience. So like the only example I have is still to be traveling. So you want to travel luxuriously. You don't want to be pinching pennies while you're overseas. You want it to be an easeful trip. And so again, you're doing what you need to at this present moment in order to make this experience the best experience you possibly can. And it's being encouraged by your spirit guides to do this. And the first initial card is saying, what is your heart guiding you towards? This feels so strongly like that. You have the Seven of Pentacles, and this is what I also felt in like correlation to the Four of Pentacles. This slow buildup. So I'm currently recording this video November 29th, 2022. So some of you could really be focused on like your next year traveling plans and how you want to save up until like the best time to travel. So it could be around between April and July, because I'm seeing certain energy around that. But it doesn't have to be. Again, the Seven of Pentacles talks about a slow progression. It can also talk about you waiting and watching, sitting and watching the growth of things. And of course you have the I am wealthy card here. So you may be very invested at this time in certain projects or things that you've placed energy into that you were wanting to see materialize. Why is this important to the strengthening of their relationship? Please, Spirit, one more tarot card. Why is the Seven of Pentacles here? Thank you. Oh, yes. Your creations make you feel very authoritative. Your work, the arena of work for you, makes you feel very in control, makes you feel very stable. I feel like you could be a person who definitely just focuses on work. And that is why this strengthening card is coming up for you is important. Or the strengthening card, excuse me, pile number one. The strengthening reading. This is why you're here, I feel like. It's just strengthening your relationship to yourself, because you have a relationship with your work. You have a relationship with the manifestation of material things. And you want to see who is in the middle of this process. Like you want to see you in the middle of this process when you haven't had the experience versus when you have. You have the Nine of Swords at the bottom of the deck. Very interesting that you have the Nine of Swords, because it talks about worry. And of course, with tension being at the bottom of the deck, we did sense that you have a very tense thought process around surrendering and letting things go. And you have a hard time of letting things go with the Nine of Swords. Your thoughts maybe can sometimes really keep you awake at night, thinking, overthinking, or just being, again, worried. We also mentioned that in the Dear Self card about how instead of worrying, I lovingly choose to blank, blank, or blank. And I feel like this is a part of like the mood shifting for you. You being able to analyze certain thoughts that pop up that you know put you into a negative mood. Excuse the noise outside, pile number one. But being able to shift the thoughts that you know put you in a negative mood towards a more satisfying direction, not necessarily positive, but satisfying, for you to feel like you are making progress and you are not mentally beating yourself up along the way. So I feel like this is a really big indicator saying like how you are strengthening and deepening your relationship is by trying to worry less, attempting to worry less about the things that don't even deserve your stress. They don't even deserve your worry. And you're trying to focus more on how can I nurture myself? How can I do small steps, small things here and there in order to make myself feel more comfortable, make myself feel more at ease, make myself feel more vulnerable, but in a positive way. It's like you also have, with the King of Swords here, a sort of like, you have this energy within you, pile number one, I believe, that is very soft and gentle internally. But you don't play with the King of Swords here. And so mentally, you are always on defense of this soft and gentle part of yourself. Maybe some people have taken advantage of that, pile number one. That's a different story for a different day. Today, I see that as you are analyzing what works best for you, you're also analyzing certain behaviors that you have picked up along the way as well. I'm not sure why that's coming up with the King of Swords here, but you can be very straight to the point in certain matters. Again, very straight to the point with work, very straight to the point with certain relational issues as well. You have a queen and a king, so you have this duality, and maybe sometimes people don't even know which side of you they're getting at the time, the soft or the outspoken. But wow, okay, I'm trying to see if there's anything else here with the strengthening of your relationship. I do see you tracking progress with the Seven of Pentacles here, and I almost want to see what it is that you're tracking the process of, but I see you watching and analyzing for growth. It's almost as if you want to be sure that the growth is there. It's almost as if you feel like if you turn away, you're gonna have to start over from something. But that is not the case. Whether it's through the growth process of you physically and spiritually or of the material things in your life, it's not the case. You can take your eyes off of it for a moment. Let certain resources work for you. Let certain resources work in your favor while still focusing on and tending to your internal self. It's like, yes, we can have our eyes on both things, but sometimes we just need our eyes closed, as I see these two figures doing here. Sometimes you just need your eyes closed in order to sense the growth that you are trying to look for so strongly. So I'm going to use one final message, one final oracle deck. This is one that is very, again, unique, very unique. And so it is an oracle card in order for you to make yourself a tea. It's a tea time oracle deck. So it has directions for each card on a very specific tea that is being called to you at this time. You can either do it, you can look up the process, you can look up what was used within these teas, or you can just receive this one final message. But I did want to close off your reading with this one. A message for pile number one, please, Spirit. A tea time. Beautiful. So you have lemon balm sun tea. Wow, beautiful. And you also have spice clove tea with at the bottom of the deck. So I'm going to just read them really quickly. So the lemon balm sun tea, that sounds so good. Fill a large sterilized jar with cold water and add a handful of lemon balm leaves. Cover with a lid and place jug outside in the sun for 3 to 4 hours to steep. Pour over ice. And this is a tea that is meant to bring a very calming sense to you. I think these cards are so beautiful. You can absolutely, take a screenshot of this card if you'd like, and do the prompt and make yourself some lemon balm sun tea. The sun, it has, this power within it that infuses life into anything that comes into contact with it. And so I think that this tea is very beautiful energy, just representing how the sun is trying to shine within you, try to bring vitality and life within you again through external experiences, but also through a connection with yourself, again, that is strengthening and deepening. You can definitely, I feel like, go for a little calming energy with the anxiety that I sense or the tension that I sense within the bottom of the deck of your reading, but up front, like outwardly, I do feel like you are trying very hard not only to calm yourself, but to exist calmly, live a calm life. Again, a life with ease and a certain dedication to your work for some reason as well. The clove tea says, grind 1 tablespoon of cloves and place in 1 liter or quart of boiling water. Steep for 20 minutes, strain and drink. Okay. And so this is a nice cleansing tea for you, to cleanse any thoughts, doubt, fear, to cleanse anything from your spirit that is not aligned with you embracing your uniqueness and nurturing yourself. Pile number 1. I hope that you enjoyed this beautiful reading. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up. I would greatly appreciate it. I would love it if you would join my newsletter. If you haven't already, I will leave that link down below. And I would love to see you in another reading. Peace. Hello, pile number 2. Welcome to your reading. Okay, so let's look at your crystal. You chose this one, the amphibole crystal. And I'm going to just put it right off to the side, and we're going to get right into your reading. I'll put it right here so that you can visually still connect with it. And we are looking at how you are deepening and strengthening your relationship with yourself right now. And this card says, rest, renew, and recharge. What does your body crave and need right now? So this is a very direct message for you, pile number 2. We also have the number 43 here with the number 7. So you have found this new habit or practice of resting. Whenever you were seeing this video, this is something that is new for you to lean on as a practice, I should say. We all have to go to sleep at some point, but to make it a practice of resting and allowing yourself to recharge. I feel like you are just now learning how to listen and acknowledge what it is that your body is craving and needs. And so this is the key part on how you are building and strengthening the relationship with yourself right now. Just asking, not even asking, I feel like, because our bodies are very communicative. Whether we are able to listen to it or not, whether we are able to understand what it is that our body is communicating to us or not. Our bodies are always communicating with us on what it needs. And so I feel like now your body is telling you that it is craving rest. It is craving like moments of solitude for you to not do anything, for you to not be worried about anything except the renewal of your energy and the renewal of your spirit, your body. So I'm going to look and see in the oracle how this is strengthening your relationship to yourself. Number 2, please, Spirit. What's it going? Number 2. It's like we had 2 cards want to try to fly out, but I'm going to get a nice clear shuffle for pile number 2, please, Spirit. Okay. I'm going to keep trying for you, pile number 2. Oh my goodness. And it's never just one. So let me just take a moment. Let me take a moment with your energy and specifically seek out one card for pile number 2, please, Spirit. Okay, thank you, Spirit. And so before I get into this energy, it may be like symbolically the reason why it has taken me so long to be able to get one of the cards to fly out for you is like, it's hard for you to get in contact with this energy in order for you to rest and recharge. It's hard for you to channel in on what it is that you need for some reason. It's like you try over and over again to get the outcome that you're looking for, which is a renewed spirit. Maybe sometimes you rest and it doesn't feel restful because your mind is either going about the responsibilities that you need to do or the things that are coming up in your life, different things in life that draw us away, distract us away from our own rest and our own need to rest. So that felt like a message. You have North Node. Very, very beautiful, very interesting. As this came out for pile number 1, and I made sure I shuffled well. So that's very interesting, pile number 2. You may feel a connection to pile 1 in some way, but resting is, ironically, go figure, a part of your destiny. And that sounds maddening. It sounds crazy, but it is. And maybe, again, you're learning more about rest and how to have a fulfilling, restful state and moment. You're learning about how to be at ease. And again, this is the word that is the biggest theme of your reading is rest. You're learning how to rest. The North Node, as I mentioned in pile number 1, is a part of our destiny. It guides us towards our destiny. The North Node in astrology is connected to the moon. It is an astrological point. It is not a planet. And it's connected to the moon. And the North Node, again, leads us to our purpose and helps us to fulfill our destiny, the destiny that we were born with. So depending on the zodiac sign that your North Node is in, that is how you achieve this destiny, by doing those zodiac-like qualities, not being that zodiac, but achieving with that energy in mind. So this tells me that a part of this resting period, this resting phase for you, is you getting into contact with your own destiny. And I feel like this is going to be much different than pile number 1's because you have rest here. And that's such a big energy. It's such a non-moving big energy. And I say that because it's like rest can be anything. We can qualify anything as rest, almost. We try to qualify work as rest when it's relaxing to us, but that's not rest, right? So a large part of you deepening and strengthening your relationship to yourself right now is leading you towards your destiny. I think you are on a hiatus or a pause right now in something, not all of life, just some part right now is asking you, some part of your life right now is asking you to slow down. And I feel like you feel obligated to answer that call. Something is manifesting out of this, which again, with the North Node here in pile number 1, it felt more likely that something was going to come to fruition based on what they were trying to achieve. And I think what is coming to fruition for you, pile number 1, is this practice that you are trying to build. You will find a new restful place the more that you rest, and you will embrace this almost as like a way of life as you were building this process or practice. Keeps feeling like keeps feeling like a practice to me. And we have that practice in North Node because, of course, nothing will ever be perfected in life. We are not alive to perfect anything. I think you are building it as a practice because you want it to be able to fluctuate. One moment you want rest to look this way for you, and one moment you want it to allow itself to look this way for you. But whatever it looks like for you, you want the outcome to be very fulfilling for you. At the bottom of the deck, you have Saturn again with wisdom. So something about this that you are building, you're building something around what it is that your body is craving holistically. And it is creating discipline within you. It's creating a structure for you as well. With Saturn, we see time showing up. I'm going to look and see why that's coming up, and hopefully we'll have more understanding around why time is standing out to me within Saturn. But I feel like there's something here that is testing you, testing your ability to rest, testing your ability to let go of control, and to build a certain level of self-control as well. Self-control in the sense of like, when I say I'm going to do this, like resting, I'm going to allow myself to rest at this time that I said. Because like I said, you're not going to be stopping completely. You're not going to be stagnant in any way. It's going to be a level of control that you're building within this. Again, strengthening your relationship to yourself is helping you to gain a level of self-control. We also have maturity here and maturing within the North Node as well. So there's a maturation stage where you are going to be looking at levels of growth where you thought you were more mature in this area, and then you learn that, oh, there's even more that I can learn in this area in order for me to grow. So let's see. I'm going to look into the Oracle. I'm going to use the Dear Self Oracle deck. This one is a little unique in the way that it was created. It's a message from yourself, and it has these blank spaces within the card that I will be providing for you to fill in the blank. So you can do this either by taking a screenshot and writing it out, journaling your responses. You could take a moment to pause and just think about your answers and hold them to yourself. You don't have to share them with me if you don't feel like you want to in the comment section. This is just a message from you for you, okay? And I may even be filling in some of the blanks as I read it in order to help give you an idea of what could possibly be within this energy. Call number 2, please, Spirit. A message from yourself. Okay. It's like these 3 flew off to this side, and then there's this one that split. And I think I'm going to keep this one. I think so. It made a very bold entrance into your reading. And then I'm going to also read the bottom of the deck, okay? So it says, when I think about certain situations like blank, I'm ready to surrender what I think is the right outcome. I'm ready to expect the highest good for everyone involved. I'm ready to feel blank. I'm ready to look for ways to appreciate this experience. I'm ready to surrender my need for answers right now. I'm ready to accept clarity when it's available, okay? So there's a few different things to unpack within this. Again, you can pause it to fill in your own blanks, and I'm just going to proceed to talk about it now. But I feel like what could possibly go in this first blank is when I think about certain situations like blank, it could be in regards to resting. When I think about certain situations like a rest routine, I'm ready to surrender what I think is the right outcome. Okay? That is a very general, this is all I have right now information in order to fill in this blank. And so for the second one, I feel as if it could say, I'm ready to feel restful. I'm ready to look for ways to appreciate this experience. And I think this is something that you're absolutely trying to to appreciate within resting. It's not like you feel bad after resting necessarily. Maybe you feel guilty for taking a moment to rest and for doing something that you don't see normalized or replicated in other people's lives that are around you. But you're ready to feel restful, and you're ready to make the most out of this experience and not feel as if, again, you're being put into timeout just because you have to take a break from something. So I feel like your perspective is shifting, because it's saying, I'm ready to surrender what I think. I'm ready to expect the highest good for everyone involved. That's definitely a perspective shift as well. I'm ready to surrender my need for answers. And that's that control that I also felt. Building a level of self-control where you feel safe within yourself, and you feel safe not knowing all of the answers exactly when you think that you should know. I feel like this is what is taking place as you are deepening your practices, your spiritual, restful practices, and also while you are being more attentive to yourself and trying to be more attentive to your relationship with yourself as well. At the bottom of the deck, you have, Dear Self, thank you for seeing the best in me. Thank you for being a friend to me when blank. Thank you for standing up for me when blank. Thank you for being patient with me and showing me compassion. I'm proud of you for blank. Thank you for breaking old habits that no longer serve you. Thank you for taking chances on me. Dear Self, thank you. And so for these blanks, I feel like it could be really simple. Dear Self, thank you for seeing the best in me. Thank you for being a friend to me when I needed you the most. Thank you for standing up for me when I couldn't stand up for myself. And this is like your future self or your past self even. It could be, thank you for standing up for me when I couldn't do that for myself. Thank you for being patient with me and showing me compassion. I'm proud of you for being restful. Again, it can be simple. It doesn't have to be detailed and a lot. But I feel like it can still be very impactful for you. So you can decide what goes in these blanks, pile number 2, and this will be a direct message from yourself on how proud that they are for you breaking old habits. That's also a part of the North Node as well. In astrology, the North Node is paired with the South Node. So the South Node will always be in the sign that is directly opposite of whatever your North Node is in. So you could have North Node in Sagittarius and South Node in Gemini. And the South Node just creates certain habits and things that we have gained from life patterns and life experiences, and even past life experiences as well, if you believe in those things, that we are meant to integrate and move away from towards a higher calling and destiny. So I feel like you are absolutely breaking old habits. You are moving away from your South Node. Again, integrating the lessons of what it was like to be you back then, what it felt like, what you allowed, what you didn't allow, and integrating it and moving it towards who you are trying to become, what you are trying to manifest and have exist in your life right now. And I think you breaking old habits is absolutely aiding and strengthening this relationship that you have with yourself, as you are actively building with yourself. So I'm going to look and see in the Oracle, the Angel Number Oracle, what it is that is aiding you at this time, what is encouraging you at this time in order for you to build and strengthen your relationship with yourself. Pile number 2, please, Spirit. Pile number 2. Pile number 2. Ooh. Okay. It's like your cards keep wanting to split up. These two fell out separately, and then this one flew out. like to the side. Okay. You had 20 and 26. I am harmonious and I am tactful. But we're going to keep I am balanced. Oh, wow. With I am aligned at the bottom of the deck. So you absolutely could be seeing a lot of twos at this time. You have 222 and 22 at the bottom of the deck. So beautiful. Love this deck. So 222 says, trust that the seeds of your thoughts are growing as you are nourishing them with words, feelings, and actions. So you have been in this situation, area of life where you have definitely been working on your thoughts more. And I feel like we talked about that. Not necessarily having just a positive mindset, but a mindset that encourages like positivity. And so the seeds of your thoughts are growing at this time, and you, in this restful place that you are trying to conjure up, you are nourishing them. You're nourishing your thoughts with specific like words and sentence structures, with specific feelings that you're allowing yourself to experience and feel, and certain actions as well. So I feel like as you are focusing on what it is that your body needs, you're going to find a lot of balance is being introduced into your life. A lot of balance, but also a lot of trust, which I feel like is important for you. Not only like trusting yourself with your own ideas and excitement and passions, but trusting the universe in order to let those things happen for you as well. Give me a second. I feel like balance is out here because for some reason you have felt unbalanced. And again, when we are running low on rest, when we do not feel recharged, when we do not feel renewed, we don't feel balanced either. And certain things externally can really shift us. It can move us unexpectedly because we don't feel grounded. We don't feel balanced. And I see this. You're working on this because I feel like it's a key indicator for you. When things are unbalanced, you know that you need to rest. When things feel a little chaotic, you know that you need to rest because you and your energy is some kind of stabilizer. And so when you are stable, things feel a little bit more stable for you, especially with the self-control. Especially with the self-control. 22 at the bottom of the deck, it says you are in possession of incredible creative powers, and it is assured that you can achieve anything you wish. With you are aligned at the bottom of the deck. So you are in possession of this power, this creative power that I feel like is a part of your destiny as well. So to be in this restful place, I feel like some of you may be tapping into your creativity more. With Saturn being at the bottom of the deck, you may be doing like self-care, creative moments for yourself, like writing, creative writing, or painting, something artistic for you visually, in order for you to see your creativity placed onto something. But this also says you can achieve anything you wish. You can achieve anything that you wish, being aligned and being balanced. I think this is something you strongly are coming into awareness of. Again, there is a certain flow to things when you find that you've been more restful versus not. And I think that's what you are missing at this time. What you are wanting is that initial rest, that initial feeling that you get waking up refreshed, and that you can tackle and take on anything throughout the day because you have gotten what you needed. That's also a part of that self-control aspect. If I'm good, if my body is good, I'll be able to handle anything within my environment. Let's see. Let me keep shuffling. For pile number 2, please. Okay. I'm going to keep it, even though it didn't fall out onto the table, which is what we love. we have spikenard and cedarwood. I'll read both of them for you. Pile number 2. The spikenard has the keyword faith. Trigger statement, why does this always happen to me? True statement, I am at peace. Know that everything will work out as it needs to, and hold a space of gratitude as you watch the miracles unfold. Okay, this is really beautiful. I feel like the spikenard is telling you, like, first of all, challenges exist. Challenges are here to bring us wisdom about ourselves, about our tolerance, about our capabilities. But it also tells you that there's going to be peace at the end of it, and having faith that this challenge is here to bring you peace. So your spirit guides want you to know that everything is going to work out as it needs to. And there is a certain level of gratitude that you'll be experiencing as you watch things working out for you unexpectedly. It also feels like, because when we are following our North Node consciously, we are aware of certain things that make sense for us to do. But if we are not consciously aware of our North Node, our destiny, our purpose, and we feel a sense of calling and movement, but we don't understand it, it can be hard for us to even conceptualize what it is that we are viewing and how it is the highest good for ourselves and for everyone else involved. But I do feel like this is what is taking place for you right now. And you are being called to also strengthen your, not only your relationship to yourself, but your faith as well. Your faith in the unknown and your faith in the difficult processes as well. Because having Saturn at the bottom of your deck is not easy, but Saturn does bring you, again, a level of maturity through experience. And I think that's what you're gaining here, is the experience of knowing that there are certain things you can handle, and there are certain things that you don't even need to worry about because it's being handled for you. And that's bringing you a great amount of wisdom as well. Especially in these dear self cards. When you think about certain situations, maybe really difficult situations, where you are hoping for a specific outcome and you're being just called to surrender what that outcome will look like, knowing that everything will work out for you as you, again, focus on your practices, focus on your renewal, your energy, and the vitality and the health of your energy, and focusing on what brings you peace as well. So the cedarwood at the bottom of the deck is, the keyword is connection. Trigger statement, it is too much. True statement, I am grounded in my body. Use your empathic abilities to connect with others. Discern the information you receive and do not take on what is not your own. So you are being called to connect with others from a very balanced place, discerning what people tell you, and not taking on any of it as your own, just allowing certain information to come into your awareness based on connections with others. And, what this feels like to me is allowing people to share, but not taking it on as a burden or an identity. It could be like people really come to you when they need help. Meanwhile, they don't know that, or sometimes maybe they do, sometimes maybe they don't. They don't know that you're at your end on like making it. Like you wake up worried about what it is that you need to do, then other people add on to the extra stress of it because they have stress that they feel like they can trust you with. Meanwhile, it's like, yes, you can trust me with this worry, this stressor, but it adds to my stress. It adds to my worry. It adds to my responsibilities. It adds to the pressure that's onto me. And sometimes that feels like too much for you. Pile number 2. And I'm just realizing you're pile number 2 and you got 222 and 22. So that definitely is another sign that popped up in my head. But you're very empathic and you do take on what is not your own. Again, you need to renew yourself, renew your energy in order to be able to connect with other people still in a grounded and healthy way. So I feel like this is how you are strengthening your relationship to yourself right now as well. Just listening to what feels like too much to take on from other people. Even though it is a part of your destiny to be connected to other people and to do what it is that you do, possibly you could be a teacher and help people to learn about their challenges in life as well. And that can be a lot for you, but it is quite possibly still a part of your purpose. It's just meant for you to discern how you approach that purpose. Let's see. For pile number 2, what does the tarot want them to know about them strengthening and deepening their relationship with themselves? Pile number 2. Okay. 4 of Wands, and it clearly came out in reverse. What does your body crave and need right now? Feels like some alone time. The 4 of Wands typically is depicted with 2 people celebrating this new home or environment that they're in the Rider-Waite-Smith traditional tarot deck. And with the 4 of Wands in reverse, it feels less of like a big celebratory moment and more like an intimate recognition of what has been depleting your energy, what has not been making you feel aligned or balanced, what has taken away versus given to you. The 4s can also talk about like the number 4 represents the home as well. So not only you can see that depicted through the traditional tarot deck that people use, but you see that there's something off about the home here with it being in reverse. The 9 of Swords, there could be a lot of worry, a lot of overthinking energy as well within your home environment, where you just don't feel balanced. You could be the oldest sibling or the youngest, it depends, who takes on a lot of the responsibilities within the household, within the family in general. It doesn't have to be just like your immediate home environment, but still, it feels like something is off within this energy, and it has thrown off your energy as well. And I see that this is something that you're trying to renew. You're trying to flip this 4 of Wands back over, release certain fears or worries or stressors that don't belong to you in order to harmonize your energy with your environment again. What else, please, Spirit? Pile number 2. Why is the 4 of Wands in reverse? Why is the 4 of Wands in reverse, please, Spirit? Like I mentioned when I was shuffling one of these cards, where I was like, it must be difficult. Yes, the North Node. It must be difficult for you to access your North Node right now with this energy being in reverse, because it's feeling like there is an intrusion on your energy where you feel like something is happening to you and you can't be at peace because of it. You have the 6 of Cups. So the 6 does, it can resonate and relate to family matters. But the 6 of Cups definitely talks about childhood memories. And that could be what is, not even just childhood, but like young adult childhood, young youthful memories that really is the beginning of our foundation of life. This is the beginning of our foundation of learning and knowing. So you may have grown up thinking that you know something about one specific thing, and then you find out like, oh, what I know, the information that I received from someone else was only half of the information that I feel was necessary for me to know. Like something essential to you, something important to you, and coming up with only a limited amount of knowledge because the person who told you only had so much knowledge themselves. That feels like what is represented in the 6 of Cups, sort of like a letdown almost, of remembering like how you could have held so much knowledge at the beginning of your life, if only it were for you being born into a different kind of family or you having a different kind of upbringing. And the North Node in conjunction with the Six of Cups and the Four of Wands in reverse, it speaks of destiny. It speaks of things coming undone in order for us to recognize the root of what is coming undone and why it is coming undone, and how we can move towards something that is more fulfilling in our life with the knowledge of why that thing came undone in the first place. That's what I'm talking about, integrating South Node lessons in order to move you forward towards your North Node. Wow. So you could have, let me see if it works out this way. You could have, well, I don't think the nodes work out like that, actually. I was trying to think of like a water North Node and a fire South Node, and I don't think that happens that way, actually. Because all of the water signs are either opposite an earth sign, like Scorpio and Cancer, and Pisces is opposite of Virgo. Yeah, so you could have a water North Node or a fire sign North Node. Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, one of those. I don't know why that was important for me to point out either. But you are taking certain challenges and situations, either where they're present day or they have already happened and you are only living with the memory of them now. You are taking certain challenges and integrating them towards your alignment, towards your purpose and your destiny. Because I feel like you don't want past memories to hold you back anymore. You want to clear your path. Page of Swords. Wow. That's very beautiful energy, the way that it flipped out for you, which I don't think it caught. But as I was saying, clear your path, the Page of Swords really popped up. And that, I feel like that example that I used of knowledge based on what you received from your upbringing and childhood really stood out for you with the Page of Swords here. It's telling me you want to learn on your own. You want to take your own learning into your own hands. This is very youthful energy as well. The page is very youthful. The Six of Cups speaks of our youth. And I feel like this is the kind of energy that you're looking to renew for yourself. You're not looking to be 22 again, if that's an age that you have already surpassed. You're looking to be youthful, to experience life in a youthful sense, and to not be so weighed down by your past and by the responsibilities that you have taken on in the past. This is something that you could be very proud of yourself for, is really trying to let go and surrender old, not even just behaviors. What did it say? Old habits, not even just old habits, but old ways of thinking. You want to channel in new ways of thinking. You want to be caught up with the times, I guess is what people are saying now. And to me, that just feels like you are trying to get caught up in the times of your spiritual ascension and awakening. Because I can tell you, pile number 2, people weren't listening to tarot readings on, just as accessible as they do now. And I feel like this is still a very new thing to get guidance from people who read cards. It's like this tradition has been here for forever, but it is a lot more mainstream now than it has ever been. Which is kind of mind-blowing in a sense of spirituality, channeling, divination has existed prehistoric times, and now is when a certain level of societal comfort is coming in with that. And I think this is along the lines of what you're thinking of as well. It's when I said rest can be anything for you, I feel like you are also feeling a level of rest within divination, learning more about spirituality, and your faith and how to strengthen that as well. And this, of course, is all in the aid of strengthening your relationship to yourself. You want to learn more about not only yourself, but maybe you are curious about your astrology chart and what that looks like and what that means for you when it says that when people say that you have a blueprint to life. That's really what astrology is being coined as, even though it's just a guide. It's a guide, just like tarot and oracle is. But I feel like there are certain things in your life that are making you very curious, almost like childlike curiosity here with the Page of Swords, and you're wanting to learn and absorb so much knowledge. So let's see, maybe you were criticized as a child or coming up, and during your upbringing, maybe you're criticized to learn certain things. And, if you knew about other things, you weren't recognized as knowledgeable because other people didn't know about it as well. And so the knowledge that you are accessing now is something that you feel more aligned to. Wow, your cards just really want to fly. I'm not sure why that is, but Spirit, can I get one more tarot card, please, for pile number 2? One more tarot card for pile number 2, please. Thank you. You have the Magician. How beautiful. So you're really learning about manifesting and bringing things into existence and co-creating with the universe. You are speaking with your spirit guides, it feels like, as well. But with the Magician here and the Six of Cups and the Four of Wands in reverse, I do see you spiritually and physically making a new foundation for yourself, one that you feel more balanced in, because you know that you were an active participant in creating this new foundation for yourself. I feel like you are utilizing everything that you have available to you now in order to create more. With Saturn here as well, it feels like maybe a slight restriction in access to like resources or like knowledge, a restriction in knowledge that you're trying to kind of overcome, because you know that a challenge is only a challenge. It's only that. It's only there to have you either overcome it or know when to surrender. And so I feel like with the Page of Swords and the Magicians, you are very much so going to be going forward, trying. And then I notice I'm getting sidetracked. I'm ready to accept clarity when it's available. That feels like the Magician. It feels very much like the Magician. I feel like what is clearing the way for you is this idea of what family or home is supposed to mean, what it's supposed to look like. And I don't know why that came up with the Four of Wands in reverse. But something about that is clearing itself. Maybe it's a certain expectation that you feel held to in order to be around and support family, which doesn't mean that you cannot be around or support family. We mentioned you being in a balanced state, being in a self-controlled state, so that the external does not shift you so drastically that you no longer know who you are or, where you originated from, like where you truly come from. So I feel like this is all a part of the Magician energy. You are realigning not only with your destiny, but with the potential that I feel like you sense. Let's see, one more. Why is the Magician here? Spirit, for pile number 2. Why is the Magician here? I feel like you are creating a new relationship with yourself. Again, one that wasn't taught to you. Coming up, you've kind of had to like figure out what makes you feel most comfortable, figure out what makes you feel best, figure out what makes you feel the most inspired. And it has worked for you up until this point. I feel like you still are recognizing things that are needing to be cleared, old habits that are needing to be released. but you still have a good form of an idea of how you want to manifest this new relationship with yourself. Not even new relationship, this renewed relationship with yourself. Pile number 2, please, Spirit. One more tarot card. Pile number 2. Thank you. The Fool. Yes, and we sense the beginning. It's like, wow, you have the two most the first 2 cards out of the whole tarot deck is represented in your reading right now with the Magician and the Fool card. You do have a beautiful beginning taking place in your life. One where you don't feel, again, the most knowledgeable. You don't feel the most experienced. You don't feel like you're the most experienced in the room. But you're still going to be feeling comfortable to experience certain conversations just because you're curious about the people who are conversing. Yeah, the King of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. I think it's very interesting that it's at the bottom of the deck just to tell you that, yeah, you may not feel the most experienced, you may not feel the most knowledgeable, but you do have life experience. You do have life knowledge. And that cannot be bought. That cannot be shared in a way because you have experienced it. Pile number 2. So the Fool card here tells me you do have a new beginning. Something is opening up in your life. And it's not here yet. It's not here yet. And I say this because of the very first card that you had out, which was Rest, Renewed, and what is it? Rest, Renew, and Recharge. And so this first step is crucial and key for you. But I feel like it's also a part of this new beginning. It's like you're not just resting and then starting to go full charge and not take a break again until 3 months later. It's like you are trying to carry rest with you wherever you go in this new beginning. You have manifested it to the point where you are allowed to rest. You've manifested this new beginning in this way, as rest being a key, integral part of this new path in your life. With the King of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck, you feel very stable. You feel very aligned with where this energy is taking you right now. You feel very aligned with like how you have been nurturing yourself and listening to yourself. And so you want to build on that. Like you want to build even more upon that as well. And the Fool energy just tells me that you are carrying this level of carefree lightheartedness that you've been trying to regain this whole time. Again, Six of Cups tells me that you had a lot of responsibilities, and the Fool is telling me like you are not irresponsible in this phase. You are integrating, the ability to take care of yourself and everyone else into this new beginning, but also still feeling like there's a lot that you can learn. It's such a beautiful energy. Pile number 2, I want to see how else it is that you are building and strengthening your relationship to yourself. I feel like you're doing some new things. Maybe you're changing up the way that you look, or the way that you, or maybe you're changing your home, like the way that your home looks even, with the Four of Wands in reverse, in order to give yourself an environment of comfort that feels like you played a part in it, if that makes sense. Wow, the Magician and the Fool. I feel like, there's a big beginning, a large beginning that is calling you to surrender in order to begin. Surrender your need for answers in order for it to begin, in order for it to begin to take form. I feel like, especially with the Magician energy here, it's like you don't want to, again, be so stuck in old habits and past ways, past mindsets and things that what you are trying to manifest now sort of replicates that in a way. I don't think that's what you want, because no matter how good something has looked for you in the past, you have ended up exhausted. You've ended up feeling not renewed. And so this new beginning is for you to take a balanced approach from the start, so that you don't turn around and look at regretful moments of where you could have rested or taken a break. Pile number 2. And I think that this is how you are building your relationship with yourself right now. So I'm going to look at one final oracle card for you. This is the Divine Tea Time Oracle, which is a lovely, unique deck in itself. And it just has a recipe on here for you to create a tea of your own that is channeled based on the energy of this reading and what you need right now. So I'm going to look and see what final card wants to come out for you, pile number 2. Again, with the cards flying. That must mean something for you. Like things are trying to separate from you. You're trying to separate energy. Again, what belongs to you and what doesn't. Very interesting. So you have the tamarind, hibiscus, and ginger tea. And this is detoxing. So you could use a really good detox in your life right now, possibly. Bring 4 cups of water to the boil to a boil in a pot with 1 cup of hibiscus flowers. Take off heat and add 1 heaped tablespoon of tamarind, a spoon of honey, and a thumb-sized piece of ginger sliced. Steep for 1 hour, strain and chill. Pour over ice and garnish with mint. Okay, so this is a great detoxing tea for you. Again, detoxifying anything that doesn't belong to you, any energy that doesn't align with you. You can use this tea to detoxify and help you to release and shed. At the bottom of the deck, you have apple and ginger tea. Oh, it sounds so good. Peel and slice 2 apples, any apple of choice, and add a thumb-sized piece of grated ginger into a pot with 3 cups of water. Simmer for 10 minutes, cool slightly, then blend until smooth. Drink while still warm. Okay, and this is going to help you with that balancing, because you have the 222 with I am balanced. So this may be a really good tea for you to gain that balance that you were feeling and being called towards. Pile number 2. This was all that I had for you today. And this, lovely in-depth pick a card. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up. I would greatly appreciate that. My channel would greatly appreciate that. And I would love for you to join my newsletter. I will have it linked down below, where you can access a monthly zodiac reading for yourself. And I would love to see you in another reading. Peace. Hello, pile number 3. Welcome to your reading. You chose this beautiful crystal, which I am unsure of the name of, but look at how stunning, how gorgeous. I'm going to put it off to the side right here, and we're just going to get started with your reading and the overall energy. So you have the card, you are the joy seeker. What little victories can you celebrate? Okay, and so with this being your main energy, the focal energy that comes out for you, I feel like how you are strengthening your relationship and building a relationship with yourself that you can trust in is celebrating little victories in your life, finding the small things that can still mean a lot to you, that you can cherish and know that you put your best energy forth, you put your best self forth, and this is something that you can be very proud of. This is a key factor in how you are growing and strengthening, building this bond of a relationship that you have with yourself. Just letting yourself know that every little step counts, every little thing that you do matters, everything that you experience, again, from little to large experiences are, if it's important to you, then it's meant to be celebrated. And I feel like this is the beginning of how you are starting this relationships and strengthening this relationship with yourself, is just by celebrating the things that you do and the things that bring you joy. Okay, so you have the 7th house with relating as the next oracle card that wanted to come out for you. It came out very directly. And so I feel like you are the type of person who, you're not necessarily always by yourself. Whether this is a romantic relationship, which the 7th house can typically talk about, it can talk about your partner in life. But it also can talk about partnerships that you have open and available for you to explore within your natal chart. So depending on what zodiac sign that you have over your 7th house, that is how you interact with people. That is what you need from relationships, but also I feel like what you need to experience and be able to give to relationships as well. You have the sun at the bottom of the deck. Very beautiful energy. The sun being depicted with a heart here. And that's a very much so 7th house energy, is the heart, and relating to others with your heart. And I see an empty eggshell, which is very interesting to me. And we're going to get into all of this energy together, summing up what this could mean for you and the building of the relationship with yourself. I feel like you are someone who either has companionship in your life currently, or you want it, crave it almost, maybe even as a part of something that you would like to experience in this lifetime. There's nothing wrong with that at all. And I do believe that as you are strengthening and building the relationship with yourself, I do see other relationships coming into an awareness for you. So this card talks about best friends, it talks about marriage, it talks about relationships overall, and how this is a huge thing that's coming up for you. I'm going to look and see why with the other oracle cards. But to me, this just tells me like you are strengthening your relationship with self through the joy that you find in relating to other people and being relational to other people. Of course, this comes with a balance. The 7th house energy always talks about balance because it is ruled traditionally by a Libra. And Libra can teach you the importance of having balance within your relationships and not tipping the scale too far either way. How you want to make sure that you are nourished and healthy and showing up in your connections this way as well, but also being able to produce nourishment and health in connection with other people. Of course, that's again why the scales are so important, is because you're not there to be in relations with other people in order to fix them. I think that's definitely one way that we can see when scales are over tipped and where we give a bit too much when we're trying to fix people's lives for them. But to be there with another person and to support them and uplift them in a way that feels healthy for all parties involved, that definitely is a 7th house energy of keeping those relationships balanced with the relationship with yourself. And I feel like at this time, that is definitely what you are interested in doing. With the sun being at the bottom of the deck and that being represented astrologically as our being or our identity, our essence, I feel like it is important that you keep this energy within your awareness, within your mind, being aware of yourself. Self-awareness is what it says. Yes. Being aware of yourself, being aware of your spirit, your energy, your own being, your own identity, especially in connection to the 7th house. The sun, it represents you and how you show up to people, how people perceive you and see you. The 7th house, again, is others. It's all about the other, you in connection to the other. For some reason, the father energy is standing out within the sun. And we'll see why that is coming out. But I also am taking a look at self-sufficiency as an important energy in regards to you building and strengthening your relationship with yourself. I think self-sufficiency is important to you. You don't want to lose that. You want to be able to actively seek out what it is that you want in life without feeling too dependent, it feels like. But I'm going to look and see in the oracle a message from yourself. This is the Dear Self Oracle. It is a very unique oracle deck where it is basically like a prompt that you can either write along with or just speak out loud to yourself. It has fill in the blanks for you to fill in the blanks. And as I'm reading this, I may even insert some words just to make it more clear as to what the message could be for you. So it's experimental. Let's see what message is trying to come out for you, Pile 3. From yourself, a message for Pile 3. Dear Self, message for Pile 3, please, Spirit. Thank you. Okay. We have another 7. The 16 breaks down to a 7. And another 7. Wow, so you could be seeing 777. This card says, my perception is my truth. Since there are so many ways to look at a situation, I can see blank as blank, or I can see blank as blank. Very interesting, especially talking about the multiple perceptions and perspectives in regards to a situation. That is typically what you find when you're involved in a larger group setting of people and everyone has a perspective on how the situation has taken place or has happened. Okay. So these fill in the blanks, I'm actually going to leave you to fill in because I feel like there's a specific situation that you are being asked to look at differently, because there are many ways for you to be able to look at it differently. And it is, of course, all about choice, pile number 3. But I feel like there is a situation in your life that is, again, ushering in this ability for you to strengthen your relationship with yourself. And it's just calling for a perception or a perspective shift. At the bottom of the deck, I'm going to also read this one as well. And you can just choose what the blanks are for yourself. But it says, I want to get out of my own way. I want to let go of blank. I want to see the peace and relief that is waiting for me. Instead of forcing things to happen, I want to simply allow good things to come to me. I want to recognize the paths of least resistance to what I want, and I want to appreciate those paths when I see them. I want to feel blank. I want to be blank, okay? I'm going to leave this here on the screen just for a second for you to either screenshot or pause it, think about it, read it, write it down if you need to come back to it later and fill in these blanks for yourself. And I want this to be within your mind as an energy that you are allowing to happen. You're allowing good things to happen instead of trying to force things. The things that you expect it should be, the things that you expect to bring you peace may not always be that. And so there is the option of receiving a path of least resistance and you being able to appreciate that path as well, pile number 3. Especially with that card being at the bottom of the deck and you have the Sun card at the other bottom of the deck, I feel like there's some part of your identity that you are being called to embrace, accept as a truth. I'm going to keep looking because this is such an interesting, it's such an interesting reading to have other people showing up so strongly in a reading about yourself and how you're strengthening your relationship to yourself. And I think there may be a lot of helpful energy, a lot of supportive energy in this for you, but also some energy that opposes and challenges you into stepping into who you say that you really want to be. So I'm going to look and see with the angel number, what else Spirit can tell us about this time and how you are strengthening your relationship to self. One angel number, please, Spirit. Thank you. I think this is the one. This is the one. Yes. Okay. So you have 1111 with I am awakening, and that is absolutely an energy I sense within your presence. It says the universe is arranging people and experiences on your path to help you succeed and helping you wake up to who you truly are. Very specific, very precise in the way that we have witnessed other people's energy showing up in your reading very strongly. And again, this is because, it has taken up until this point of other people helping you to recognize who you really are. And of course, this doesn't mean that you don't know who you are or that you will forever need assistance in being shown who you truly are and being able to perceive yourself. It means that Spirit has conducted this. It has arranged people to come in and out of your life, experiences to be in and out of your life in order for you to see yourself and to be able to perceive yourself. And again, it is through relating to other people and situations. Certain situations do, I feel like, teach you a lot about yourself, and not many people can say that. Not many people can say that they have epiphanies or awakenings through experiencing things with other people. Some people, it takes, very solitary moments in order to be awakened and to see yourself. But I feel like this is meant for you to do around other energy, and it's actually bringing you a lot of joy. You may have been seeking something, again, not necessarily knowing what would bring you your truest aligned outcome, but you are receiving joy from being able to be around people who are helping you to succeed and helping you to understand who you really are. Pile number 3. You have the angel number 6 with I am nurturing at the bottom of the deck. And this says, your heart is your gift. You are a natural born nurturer and have a great talent for helping and healing others. You are the epitome of self-sacrifice and a protector of those you love. I feel that very heavily, especially because this is a reading about self. Again, and I keep mentioning it because I came into this reading with very specific intentions on trying to see how you're interacting with yourself, and is just heavily focused around the heart that you carry and how you carry it for so many other people. How you carry certain things for so many other people because you are very compassionate. You're very compassionate in regards to other relationships in your life. You like when other people have balance in their life as well, which is a beautiful thing. Again, with the Libra energy in the 7th house, sometimes it has maybe gone a bit out of balance, and you have tried to ensure that other people were in balance when you weren't able to find that same balance for yourself. But I see this shifting, because this is how you're building and strengthening a relationship with yourself. And I see this shifting. You're awakening to having this balance. You're awakening to the nurturing spirit that you have and the knowledge that you have about it. And you're trying to perceive it in a different way, I feel like. Since there are so many ways to look at a situation, I can see the situation as me learning my balance. Or I can see the situation as me learning what balance means for me. It's something like that. It's something that I feel like only you would be able to fill in the blanks for, because this is a specific situation. This is a specific situation. Like I said, you don't have any issues with showing up for other people, taking care of their needs. This is what you're really known for. And so I feel like it's also about you bringing that nurturing energy and spirit that you have for other people so strongly, and finding out how you can do it for yourself. How you can also celebrate yourself for the awareness, or with the awareness of who you are. So you have Jasmine. Wow, so beautiful. My favorite essence ever. But the key word is passion. Trigger statement: I am scared. True statement: when I am vulnerable, I am at my strongest. Reconnect with your feminine energy and pursue something that ignites your fire. Open the gates of your fortress and explore. Okay, so I feel like with this energy here, there is a passion awakening within you, something that is calling you to explore. We have seeker here with the joy and seeking out joy, and you have explore here. So there's something that, is calling to you it's calling you to be more vulnerable in order to show you your strength. And maybe you don't really like vulnerability. Maybe you like when other people are vulnerable. Maybe you like helping them through those vulnerable moments and nurturing them, telling them that everything is okay and that they can be the way that they are emotionally, and that their emotional reactions are valid and things of that nature. I think that you're very good at telling people this, sharing it with them, allowing them to be vulnerable. But when it comes to yourself and allowing yourself to be vulnerable, I do feel like that is something that you don't celebrate. You don't look at it as a victory, small or large, when you have this emotional release. It almost feels as if you have to reconnect with the reason as to why it is important to cry. Why it is important to be vulnerable and allow yourself to be vulnerable, not just with yourself, but with other people as well. Something about that is helping you to strengthen your relationship with yourself. And the reconnect is standing out strongly to me. Reconnect with your feminine energy. That is what you are being called to do right now. And pursue something that ignites your fire. So this is a calling that you have already sensed. This card does not feel unfamiliar to your reading, because this is how you are, again, being called to strengthen and deepen the relationship that you have with yourself, is to pursue something that ignites you, that lights you up, that gives you joy, that makes you smile, that is like, you can't hide this kind of joy from people. When you are this ignited and passionate about something, you cannot hide it. And that's the point. It's the point, is not to hide yourself, again, in order to, or hide what you're excited about in order to help someone else come out of their own shell. It's like, I feel like also people learn the most from us by just watching us and perceiving us. Sometimes you don't have to say what is important to you, because people can see you and experience you in that moment, in that passion. And that was a message for some reason for someone. But you have at the bottom of the deck monthly, with the keyword being receptivity, which draws me back to that feminine energy and learning how to receive. Trigger statement, I am guarded. True statement, my heart is open. This is a time for you to receive new information and open your heart to receive it. This is a time for you to receive new information, open your heart to receive it. So you are receiving an awareness and understanding, because we saw it here in the awakening, where you are going to start realizing why certain people are in your life. Spirit's going to make it clear to you that you are understanding yourself more and more through other people, and they want you to be open to this. They want you to be open to this. With the 2 7s here, with the 11-11, which breaks down to a 4, and the 4 being in your main card, you have a lot of themes circling around you that are spiritual cycles, but also having something to do with your upbringing, your home environment, your home life, and what that was like for you, and where you have learned to build a home as well. I feel like, where do you feel safe, rooted, grounded, and comfortable? Why do you feel safe here versus why did you not in the past, quite possibly? But let's see what else I can see with just the oracle here first. How you are deepening and strengthening your relationship with yourself. I think you're also trying to honor when you are scared or when you are fearful of something, because I feel like those emotions, again, there are certain emotions that you may not be interested in diving as deeply into because you feel like they're not productive. But I feel like it's safe for me to say that every emotion, every feeling is productive as long as you are willing to expand your awareness around it. Maybe first bat, initially it doesn't seem important, but if you sit with things long enough, I do believe that you are able to find the importance in that, and that is also helping you to deepen and strengthen your relationship with yourself. Let's see what the tarot has to say now, because I believe that is it within these oracle cards that I can see. So now I'm going to ask for more details from the tarot. Please, Spirit, for pile number 3. How are they deepening and strengthening their relationship with themselves, please, Spirit? Number 3. Any details about how they are strengthening their relationship with themselves, please, Spirit? That's too many. Just a bit too many. We're going to keep shuffling. Pile number 3, please, Spirit. Pile number 3. Okay. So we have the 7 of Swords coming out. Another 7. Very interesting that you could definitely be seeing a lot of 7s. With this you are the joy seeker. What little victories can you celebrate? I feel like you don't celebrate yourself enough. Pile number 3. And we mentioned little victories, but I feel like in general, overall, with the 7 of Swords here, it tells me that you feel as if certain things are just not worthy of celebrating. I feel like you feel as if the things that you accomplish are mundane. I think you try to convince yourself, because if someone else were to accomplish the things that you were to, you'd be their biggest supporter, their biggest cheerleader. You do not lack in celebrating other people. I feel like you don't know how to properly celebrate yourself, because mentally you feel as if you're not doing enough, or mentally you feel as if you are not this enlightened individual who is here to help other people by being in connection with other people. There's some part about this that you don't believe in, that you don't believe is a part of your true purpose, or you don't believe it is a large part or something that should be celebrated. Even if it's not large, it said little victories as well. So there's something here that you're not valuing enough to celebrate. But when other people see you showing up with this skill, with this mindset, with something that they aren't able to provide for themselves, they celebrate it with you. And when you see, it's like it goes 2 ways. You don't see it as important enough to celebrate. And then when other people do as well, you try to deflect that celebration because you don't feel as if it is good enough or that it is worthy enough to be celebrated. And it is. And that's a huge message in itself with the 7 of Swords here that I want to let sink in. We have the 777 here. This is a spiritual awakening and understanding and knowing that you deserve to celebrate every small step, every small accomplishment, every small thing. You deserve to celebrate the fact that you are alive and breathing. You deserve to celebrate the fact that your mind and your mental stimulation does not win over the things that you want to pursue every single day. Every day that you go after something that ignites you and lights you up and makes you passionate, and your mind doesn't win in tricking you and letting you know like you shouldn't do this or you shouldn't be experiencing this or involved with these people or anything like that. Every time you win over your mind, that is a celebration. That is a victory that should be celebrated because you know how powerful your mind is. Pile number 3, you know how powerful it is and how it can sway you from being disconnected from others. It can sway you from this nurturing ability that you have. Because that's still an energy that's standing out strongly. So you have the Ace of Pentacles in reverse and the 9 of Wands in reverse. Okay. So how you are building and strengthening a relationship with yourself, I feel like, first of all, you are trying to acknowledge the mental behaviors that you have that, again, leave you more so isolated, it feels like. You're trying to release certain defense mechanisms that you have that keep you away from your abundance, that keep you from being able to experience new things. With the Ace of Pentacles or Diamonds in reverse next to the 9 of Wands, it's like you may subconsciously feel as if you've missed out on a lot of different things just from being defensive, just from feeling as if you can't trust certain situations. And the Ace of Pentacles just in reverse just tells me like there are new things that are meant to exist in your life. You're never going to run out of experiences to have. Pile number 3, never. You're never going to run out of things to say no to or say yes to. Life is going to continue to evolve as you are learning how to reconnect with a part of yourself that, again, feels closed off from you receiving. We did mention how there's this receptive energy, how you're learning how to receive not only compliments, but experiences, to be involved with people, to have new things tangibly coming into your life. You are learning how to open your heart to this and how to receive. Again, the 9 of Wands in reverse just tells me that you are used to being on the defense. And as you are strengthening your relationship with yourself, that habit is lessening, it feels like. But I want to see why the 9 of Wands is here in regards to you strengthening the relationship with yourself. I feel like it's not even just about saying yes to hanging out with friends or going out or doing anything like that. I think it's saying more yeses to like the more productive side of things. Again, passionate things that you want to, that really excite you. The things that you didn't believe in yourself to accomplish or achieve in the past, either with other people or individually. Because we have the 7th house here as like you are a people person. People love you. People resonate with you. They connect with you. They feel connected to you, even if you don't feel that connected to them. You're just this person who people look to as a very nurturing energy, uplifting spirit. You brighten up people's moods. You have the ability to encourage people beyond their own encouragement. But yeah, so you have the 7th house energy here, but there's something else, the passion of being connected fully to your purpose, to the things that you enjoy, to life. You're learning how to open up to those things and to not doubt your ability to make something happen, or not doubt your ability to keep yourself safe and protected in new environments that feel unfamiliar to you. What else, please, Spirit, for pile 3? 2 more tarot cards, please, Spirit. Okay, 1 more here. You have the King of Wands, yes. So this energy being upright for you is very beautiful, and I will tell you why in a second. 1 more, please, Spirit, for pile number 3. 1 more tarot card, please, Spirit, for pile number 3. Thank you. And the King of Cups, period. And it flew out. We have the 6 of Wands at the bottom of the deck, which is very beautiful. Very beautiful bottom of the deck energy for you, because your community sees you. They admire you. Again, this is something that you are trying to learn how to feed yourself. It's the celebration of the simple things that you achieve and overcome. But you have the 2 kings, which means to me that you are emotionally and energetically very aware of yourself. You're very aware of your needs, even if you feel as if it's difficult to speak up and say what it is that you need. You have an awareness of your soul and your spirit. You know that you have things that you want to achieve, things that you want to accomplish. You're a very accomplishing type of person. You get things done. Again, this is why people really look to you. Not only do you have this ambitious spirit about you to encourage people to say anything is possible, but you also have the heart to believe it. It's not just empty words to people, but you have the physical soul, if that even makes sense. You can't actually physically hold your soul, but you have the soul that people feel physically. that is so impactful onto another person that makes them feel encouraged and uplifted. And so I feel like how this is strengthening your relationship with yourself. I feel like you're starting to awaken to this energy. Again, you don't see it until you exert it for other people. You don't even pay attention to it. It's like you have this energy and you're so used to it that it feels very natural. But when people try to highlight it, they try to point it out for you, they try to celebrate you, you kind of are just like, what? No, I mean, like, I know that I just helped you edit this 30-page essay or whatever, but it's no problem. Like, I'm glad you got an A on it. I'm glad you got an A+ on it. No problem. You don't have to charge me whatsoever. It's cool. We're cool. I'm just glad that you got a good grade on your 30-page essay. And it's like, no one even, you don't even think about the time that it took you to produce that thing. You're just happy to be able to help, I see. And one thing that is helping you to strengthen your relationship with yourself is the acknowledgement. It's the acknowledgement of how much you put towards your relationships with other people, like how you show up for other people. This is something to honor within yourself, because people really honor it within you. Like, they really see you as this individual who is strong, who is determined, who is focused. And it's all about bringing this awareness to yourself and celebrating the small things that you have sometimes refused. You have refused to allow yourself to celebrate about yourself. I think this is a huge part of your perception as well. My perception is my truth. Your truth is, I'm just focused on making the world as better as I possibly can, not realizing the effort and energy that you have placed out for these things to happen and the position that it has put you in other people's eyes because of what you have been able to do. And I feel like you're someone who back onto the receiving end part, you're someone who doesn't receive because you're so, again, on the ground and focused. You're doing the groundwork. You're making sure emotionally everyone's good. You're making sure energetically everyone, has a passion, has something to look forward to, has something to work towards. Because I feel like you also are an individual who knows that working towards something, having a goal, it keeps people stimulated. It keeps people present. It keeps people aware, like, I have something to live for. I have something to do. I have somewhere to be. I have something that is meant for me to experience that I can only experience if I am involved with it. And this turned into like a what you do for other people, but I also feel like this recognition of yourself in this way has not been the recognition that you have had before it. I feel like this is a total awareness of yourself, even though you are going to change many times after this. You're going to evolve. That's what humans are meant to do. But there are certain key things about your spirit that you hold within you that will never go away. That is really, really, really important that you know about yourself. This is, again, going to help you to trust yourself and not doubt yourself so much. It's going to help you to trust your environment too. A part of trusting yourself is trusting that you know where to be led, trusting that you are not leading yourself or you're not being led into situations that aren't nurturing or that don't nourish you and your heart and your spirit. I think you're learning a lot about trust. For some reason, that is really coming up, especially with all the 7s here. It's like a spiritual trust. And knowing that, no matter what hardships come, because the 9 of Wands is here, and that does depict of hardships, things not being necessarily the easiest. But even in those moments, you are meant to celebrate as well. I think maybe you don't have a hard time in celebrating the hard things, the things that took a lot out of you, that you you feel called to recognize, but it's the small things too that you tend to look over and on to the next big thing to accomplish. So I feel like that's a part of you strengthening and deepening your relationship with yourself, is recognizing, honoring, and celebrating all parts of the things that you share your energy in, that you take place in. So I have one final oracle card for you. This oracle card is unique in itself as well, just like the other deck that we use. It is a tea time oracle. This is the back of the oracle card. And it just has a short recipe on here for you to create a beverage that will aid in the energy of this reading. Again, helping you to strengthen and deepen your relationship with yourself, to be very intentional about the things that you consume. You can choose to make this recipe or not. It is completely intuitive. It is just a last final message for you. And the fun perk is that you get to do something out of it. You get to have a treat out of it as well, if this is what you choose to make. So you have the turmeric and black pepper tea. That sounds so good. Number 40 here breaks down to another 4. So you could be seeing 777, 444. You could even be seeing 1111, 111, that kind of thing. But it says, in a pot, simmer 4 cups of water, add 2 teaspoons of black pepper and turmeric, grated or ground. Allow it to simmer for 10 minutes, strain and cool for 5 minutes. And this is a very cleansing tea, helping you to cleanse your aura of any energy that does not support you in the strengthening and building of the relationship with yourself. So anything like doubt, anything like defense mechanisms, or believing that you shouldn't receive when you know that you have put in enough effort to receive what comes to you. All of those things are, I feel like, a part of being cleansing right now out of your energy, and is helping you to strengthen your relationship with yourself. And you have cleansing again, so double up on that energy for sure. With the pine needle tea at the bottom of the deck, it says add 4 tablespoons of fresh pine needles to a jar. Pour in 2 cups of boiled water. Cover and steep for 5 minutes. Add honey if you like it sweet. With the cleansing energy here. So pile number 3, this is your reading. I hope that you enjoyed it, that it was thorough, in-depth, and that it showed you a little bit about, the process that is taking place in regards to the relationship with yourself. I hope that this brought you the clarity that you needed in order to receive, in order to open your heart, and to acknowledge all of the little things that make up a very big difference in your life and other people's lives as well. Pile number 3, if you enjoyed this reading, please give it a big thumbs up. I would greatly appreciate it, and it would really help my channel out a lot. Also, I will leave my newsletter linked down below, where I provide a monthly zodiac reading for the month. It's a newsletter, email sent to you quickly, and yeah, you can stay up to date with me there as well. Yes, like, comment, subscribe. I hope to see you in another reading. Peace. Hello, pile number 4. Welcome to your reading. You chose this beautiful crystal, which I am just going to put to the side and allow you to connect with it here visually. And we're going to get started with your reading. We're going to check out the main energy, and your first card. You have, it's all in divine order. Allow. How can you relax into the flow and go with the current of life? Okay. So this is a large key factor in how you are deepening and strengthening your relationship with yourself at this time. You are in a state of allowance and learning how to relax, going more with the flow of life instead of trying to force things to happen outside of life's natural flow. I think you are learning about what it means to be in flow and how to embrace it more, and to worry less or have less tension in your body as well. This is all helping you to strengthen your relationship with yourself, and to see, what you are worried about has a natural flow, just as you have a natural flow in life. The things that you are trying to create and make happen also has a natural flow as well. So I'm going to look and see with the Oracle what this message is for you. And we're going to take a deep look at how you are strengthening your relationship to yourself right now. Thank you. Okay. Wow. That's very clear. That's a very clear message. Pile number 4, allowing. And at the bottom of the deck, you have surrender, which is going to be the biggest theme, I feel like, of your reading. So the semi-sextile, that is an aspect within astrology between the planets. Is how the planets speak to each other based on where they are placed in the sky. And this energy represents a certain level of ease, or not necessarily ease, but it encourages ease to be in your environment, and it helps certain planets work together more harmoniously. So I feel like you are in a very clarifying time right now, because I see the word clarify. It's standing out to me. You are understanding that to hold on to something tightly does not allow it to grow. It does not give it the space and the freedom to grow as it is meant to. I feel like you are very much so used to, because I see it here, you're very much so used to responding to things and trying to prevent or keep things in a certain order in your life. That's probably where you feel most comfortable and most safe. And I think as you are deepening your relationship with yourself, you're kind of letting go of the control of external things that are outside of your control. I definitely see you focusing on growth, your own growth, not just the growth of the relationship between you and yourself, the intimate relationship between you and yourself. I think it's growth in your life overall is what you are opening up to, allowing, manifesting in your life. With the 12th house being at the bottom of the deck, I do feel like there's a lot of subconscious behaviors that you're still trying to recognize and clarify, because the word is here. And you're learning how to surrender. You're trying to learn how to let go, not just how to relax, but how to let go. I feel like that's a really big thing for you, where you don't let go of something until it is finalized, until it's finished. And that may be detrimental to you sometimes, sticking things out in certain instances. But I feel like you are understanding that there's a lot of subconscious behaviors and actions that you take in order for it to feel secure and safe. We all do it. Pile number 4, of course, I want you to know that you are not alone in this, especially with all the other people who have chosen this pile as well. You have to have this understanding that humans fluctuate through this, of wanting to have strong control around everything that happens in our lives, and really surrendering to the understanding that we just don't have that control. We just don't have the ability to control every single thing in our life. And I think how this is helping you to build a relationship with yourself is helping you to pivot your perspective and to turn internally, to look at what you can control, to look at what you can release and let go of. I also see forgiveness within the 12th house. So hopefully the cards will help us touch on that as well. If there is something that you feel as if you are needing to forgive, or you're needing to learn how to forgive, hopefully that comes up for you in this reading as well. But what I see within these 2 cards just out for you right now, you are strongly focusing on allowing things to happen. And this is very beneficial to the relationship with yourself. I think it brings on less stress. I think it helps you to trust your intuition as well. Like you're listening closer to, again, more subconscious things, more 12th house energy as well, and less concerned. That's the word I want to use. Less concerned with the things that are taking place outside of your control. So I'm going to use a deck that is pretty unique. It is a Dear Self deck where it has certain prompts within each card, and you get to fill in the blank. So I'm going to read it out to you. I'm going to let you see it, take a good look at it. You can even screenshot it if you are watching from your phone or a device that allows you to screenshot, or you could simply write it down and fill out the blanks for yourself privately as well. You have a lot of different options when it comes to this deck, and that is why I love it. But I want to see a message from you, yourself, pile number 4, and what it has to say about you being in this allowing stage. Pile number 4, please, Spirit. 1 card for pile number 4. I'm going to keep it because if you can see this, it's number 25, and the very first card that you had out was number 25 as well. So I'm definitely keeping that. And then at the bottom of the deck, you have this one as well, and I will read them both for you. And you will be able to, again, fill in the blanks for yourself. And I may even say some words that may help fill in the blank also. So it says, as much as I wish I knew what to do about blank, I just don't right now. The most helpful thing I can do is to make peace with confusion and surrender to this experience until clarity arrives and a solution is unmistakable. So you are in a very much so, I don't know if it's necessarily a catch-22, but it's a situation that you don't have the answers to, and it's frustrating. Within this card, I can sense a certain level of frustration that you really want, again, to be able to not only control the situation, but to figure it out, to find a solution, to find clarity. And because you don't have the first step, the first actionable step on what to do, I think what you literally have surrendered twice, you have 25 twice, you have allowing twice, you have this double up of messages coming up for you just to say, like, this is important for you. Your surrender is important. It is crucial at this point. It almost feels like in order to get you to not just deepen your relationship with yourself, but to actually let a lot of stress and worry off of you. Let it go, that the stress and worry that doesn't belong to you. And for some reason, it feels as if you feel responsible for something. We're all responsible for something. We all have duties and not just careers. This doesn't just feel like it's a black and white situation. It feels like you are grasping for this next understanding, and it kind of feels like you're grasping at water or you're grasping at air. And so I know that it is a confusing time for you, and maybe you don't even understand right now why this message is coming up in regards to you strengthening the relationship with yourself, but it is crucial. It is crucial because you are carrying a lot of stress, a lot of tension, trying to prevent but also control. At the bottom of the deck, it says, I wish you could see blank. I want you to know blank. I'm trying to understand blank. And I feel like this is a very good bottom of the deck energy for you. You and your inner self, your relationship with yourself. This is a card that I feel like you could switch out a few different words for the blanks and it would still fit and be very impactful for you. So this is you talking to yourself, whether it's future you, inner child you, it's just you. It's a part of you that is wanting to build a relationship with you, and it's trying to understand something. It's trying to understand how to allow. It's trying to understand how to surrender. It's trying to understand how to be and allow divine order to take place naturally. Let's see. I'm going to look at the angel number oracle for you and see what, very quickly, very direct. You have 21. If it would have been another 25, that would have been extremely weird. But you have 21, which is I am inspiring. You are highly creative with a strong will, very strong will to succeed. Your imagination is highly charged. It reveals itself in everything you do, from your sparkling conversation to your most prized projects. So this does feel, again, very external. You are so inspiring to others because you inspire yourself. It's like you really are a creative being. I feel like that loves what they do. You love to create. You, as the card mentioned, you are strong-willed, and you want to succeed in any creative project or anything like that. It also talks about you being a conversationalist, which that doesn't necessarily surprise me, even though I've never met you, pile number 4. I feel like you are a person who can carry a conversation creatively, and this is something that you enjoy doing. Why is this coming up in this reading? I think you, yourself, your inner self wants you to know what you are capable of so that you don't feel as if you are not, so that you don't feel as if you are lacking in any way. And this may be something strongly like you wanted to hear, not just from other people, but you wanted to like feel that you are as inspiring as you feel like you are. If that makes sense, pile number 4, I hope that this is making sense. But your creativity here is telling me that it's almost like an escape hatch. When you find yourself tense, when you find yourself preparing to try to control, preparing to not allow something to happen naturally, I feel like your creativity can be an escape for you in a way, unless this is taking place in regards to your creativity and you're trying to allow more of an inspired energy to move through that instead of controlling how your creativity is expressed, how people perceive your creativity, and all of those other things. I'm going to look later on with more detail into the tarot to see where this energy is coming up for you, that you're trying to fight your need to control and to know and to make things happen. That's just like the biggest word that's coming out right now. Because when we are not allowing, we are trying to control in any way, even if it's little ways where you try to, what's a good example, Spirit? When you try to plan out a creative project before you have started it, and then when you get into it, you realize, oh, I don't even know why I spent so much time in this planning process, because how I have executed it has turned out completely different. And I'm okay with it. I'm not mad at it. I'm happy that my creativity has this ability, but it's that beginning stage where you quite possibly stress so much just for you to get into the situation, and you're more than capable of handling whatever comes up. You also have 1111 at the bottom of the deck with I am awakening. The universe is arranging people and experiences on your path to help you succeed and helping you wake up to who you truly are. This is a beautiful energy to have at the bottom of the deck, just to let you know that there are experiences and people in your life who are going to be here to affirm you. And you know, this is a reading about the relationship to yourself, but I do feel like you are going to be supported by others in regards to your creativity, in regards to allowing a certain level of ease into your life. It may not be that everyone in your life understands this. It may not be that everyone is on board or understands like what it is that you're trying to create or do in life, but there is a supportive energy here by the universe, by those who get it. If you know, you know. Type of energy, and being supported by yourself as well, because this is a relationship about you with yourself. So I feel like this is a large change that's happening for you, is you are supporting yourself in your natural state, trying to find what flow means for you, and encouraging yourself along the way, not belittling or breaking down yourself. For some reason, there's an example trying to come to mind, almost like you telling yourself you must be prepared. You tell yourself if you're not prepared, you're more likely to fail. Something in that realm of examples of the way that you are speaking to yourself. Let's see. One card for pile number 4, please, Spirit. One card for pile number 4. Thank you. Flew out just for you. So you have, this is weird. This is weird, pile 4. It's like you keep getting from different decks, and I tell you, it is not likely to get cards that say the same things from different decks this many times. It's not likely. It is something that is strange and aligned, because your spirit guides are speaking very strongly, and they want you to know you are inspiring. You are inspiring. So this card, the keyword says freedom. Trigger statement, I have no choice. True statement, I create my day, my life. It is the time to play. Do something different today to shift your routine. Absolutely. I feel like this is what I was sensing within your creativity, being that escape, being able to play and shift up your routine, do something a little differently. Again, do something that you might find silly or not even just childish, but like not important. I feel like you focus on the important things very, very strongly. Like you have this balance. You have this ability to be very creative, very inspirational. You inspire yourself strongly. But in order to help deepen and strengthen your relationship to yourself, you have to sometimes set the seriousness to the side and not set it away where you can't access seriousness, where you can never be serious, but place it to the side where you can see your abilities of what you can control while also letting go of control. This is a big energy for you. I think that yourself, your relationship with yourself, it needs a certain level of freedom. It is asking for a certain level of freedom that coincides with allowing so beautifully. Like I'm looking at these cards. There's only 5 cards out, and they all speak to each other so strongly, telling me that you have a playful spirit on the inside. And people may be able to see that through your creativity. They may be able to see that you aren't hard as a rock, but you are very serious. You have the ability to be very serious when it comes to certain situations. And so you're being told to it feels like to let the inner child out. Of course. And then I'm going to now read the bottom of the deck, which speaks of that. So tangerine is your bottom of the deck energy, with the keyword being innocence. Trigger statement, I have so much to do. True statement, I am playful. You are playful. You are playful. It is, in order to deepen this relationship with yourself, you have to have this element of play. What does that mean for you, pile number 4? How can you relax into the flow and go with the current of life? Being playful, being at ease, relaxing, knowing that you have so much to do, but still choosing to be joyful and to play around the responsibilities that you still hold. Let the burdens of responsibility go in this moment and look at your world with the eyes of a child. I mean, I almost feel like I should just pack up the cards, because this is the reading. This is your reading, period. This is your reading. This is not just about work. It's not just about, home life. This is, your whole reading is surrounded around you learning how to be more playful with yourself, learning how to take yourself less seriously. Because like I said, being serious is not a problem for you. It's not a problem for you. Letting yourself be more playful is a problem for you. Allowing yourself to be more playful is not the easiest. It doesn't come almost too naturally for you. Maybe, again, you were born with a lot of responsibilities, or you just naturally were the one to take on all the responsibilities. And that has really done a lot to your relationship with yourself. Maybe you have had less time to focus on building this relationship because, again, responsibilities, key word. And especially because I kept hearing the word control, it's like Spirit is trying to tell me, like, you have had so much responsibilities that you feel like you can't let go of control. You haven't felt like you've had the opportunity to take a break. And if you have had the opportunity, you didn't really take it too seriously because, again, you've had a lot on your plate. And it almost has felt like you had no choice but to choose responsibility, but to choose seriousness. And Spirit is wanting you to know that you create your life day to day. Every day you show up, you create it. So if you continue to feed this level of seriousness and I can't do this because I have to focus on this, that's what it's going to be. And at some point, you're going to have to decide, well, when am I going to allow myself to take a break, to relax, to exist, to be inspired? When am I going to allow myself to be inspired by this hard work that I keep putting in? I also feel like for some of you, you're not burnt out necessarily. I feel like you're tired. And maybe you even feel like you don't have the energy to be playful or to create because you are so tired. And for some reason, I'm hearing the question, what would it look like if I put off one responsibility for tomorrow? What would it look like if I made myself responsible for the most important thing in this moment for today, and then I leave some of the other stuff for tomorrow, and then I make sure that within this transference of responsibility, I make sure that I rejuvenate my energy enough to be able to handle the task of tomorrow. I feel like that's kind of how you were transforming your control, or how you're trying to learn how to transform your control, is just to worry about what needs to be worried about within the immediate and introducing a certain level of non-seriousness, of play, of relaxation in between that to rejuvenate you for, again, the next task of tomorrow. Let's see what else. I feel like also because of the society that we live in and the grind culture that we are all privy to witnessing other people, take part in, we don't feel like things can wait until tomorrow when they absolutely can. Deadlines are, it's in the word. Language holds energy. And so deadlines, it means, work up until this situation is dead and it's done and I can't do any more with it. And it feels, deadlines, that word feels heavy. It feels heavy. When I feel like you're trying to transform the language that you use to say, I'm giving myself, what's another word that you can use? Not a cutoff time. I'm giving myself a timeline of how I want to, or when I want to achieve these things. Timelines fluctuate because time fluctuates. Time, it consistently moves forward, but it fluctuates in that way as well. Where, daylight saving times, things change, that timing shifts. We don't have any control over that. It just happens naturally. So I feel like, again, using certain language, Xing deadlines and saying, I need it done by this time and there's no excuse. There's no excuse for me to not have it done. And transforming it into having a timeline. I have a timeline of things that I want to achieve. Maybe I thought this was going to be the beginning of the timeline and I complete something else before I thought I needed to. And my timeline still progresses forward. I still get things done, but it's not a deadline, a hard end. If I don't get it done at this date, it's a failure. It's like, no, you have time. For some reason, that was just such a specific message that wanted to come out. So let's see the tarot, please, Spirit, for, thank you, pile number 4. This kind of came out sideways. Okay, Queen of Diamonds in this deck, but Queen of Pentacles is normally how it comes out. And I'm not going to ignore the fact that it came out sideways. How can you relax into the flow and go with the current of life? I feel like you are a comfortable being. You are comfortable. I feel like you worked so hard for this comfort that you feel like if you take your foot off the gas, you will no longer be comfortable. Like your environment will no longer be what it is. But the Queen of Pentacles, as I am looking at this card and looking at her energy, she carries comfort and wealth with her. And she does her best, her absolute best, to ensure that the environment is abundant and luxurious. We never see the court cards in action. We've seen their hard work paying off around them already, like they've already done the action. So to me, what this means is like, or what it's telling me intuitively, is that you may be in a place that is more comfortable than you actually realize because you've had your head down, you're working, you're grinding, you're getting to it, and you haven't actually taken a look around you as to where you can relax the reins. It's very interesting because the Queen came out sideways, so it's like you don't know how comfortable, you're not aware. There it is. You're not aware of how comfortable you have made your environment because you are still trying to build. You're in this building phase, in this building stage. And especially because of this energy right here, as much as I wish I knew about what to do in regards to a specific situation, I feel like it comes with a certain awareness, being aware, looking up from your work desk, taking a break, sitting back. I just keep seeing a person like hunched over a desk for some reason, really like getting into what they're doing, and you're missing time. Time is flying by because you haven't taken a moment to look up from what it is that you're doing. And while you're in your process, creative or not, while you're in your process, you're unaware of the things that are growing around you. Sometimes this focus and dedication is a good thing. You don't want to be distracted by outside things to keep you from creating and making, your life in the way that you want to. But you also don't want to be so absorbed that you feel like you have not made any progress because you're stuck looking at the same thing over and over again. So this could be a project. It could just be work. It could just be everyday responsibilities that you feel like you're not caught up on. And you're not aware of what you have built around you. The Hermit does tell me that you are looking to change this awareness, but you're looking to do it introspectively. Because again, when you look externally, it seems like things aren't matching up, even though where you have progressed from, let's just say it's from the beginning of this year versus now, it does look different. Life does look different. But to you, I feel like you're still looking for more or looking for something specific. And because you have not seen that, it's like you're not ready to let go of something just yet. Now, what does this have to do, now that I'm all the way here, what does this have to do with the relationship with yourself? I feel like there is a calling coming from within you with the Hermit here, calling you, urging you to take a break and to relax and to do a different kind of creative work, which is to look within yourself. I don't know if this is necessarily something that you do a lot. Again, we have it out here. This is the energy. This is how it's reading to me. So I'm just going to go with it and say that you don't do a lot of internal like reflection, in the sense that you leave this internal reflection feeling encouraged by yourself. I feel like you yourself, you need encouragement. 10 of Wands. Yes, it's because you look at how much you carry. Look at how much you do. This is responsibility. This is chores. This is keeping up with relationships in your life. The Wands can represent all different kinds of things, but it's responsibility nonetheless. And you have it all sitting on your shoulders. And so you don't encourage yourself as you need to be encouraged. Also, with the 10 of Wands being underneath this inspiring card, and it says, I create my day, my life. It's like, I think you wake up choosing to take on responsibilities. Again, it may feel like you have no choice, but in retrospection, you do have a choice on how much it is that you take on. You know this. You yourself know this, and that's why it's integral to your relationship. With the Magician at the bottom of the deck, this is definitely highlighting and, confirming that you have the ability to drop tasks, to pick up tasks, to do what you want. Even if it's not full autonomy, there is a certain level of freedom on how much you take on, and you choose to take on the 10 of Wands. And so maybe as you are strengthening and deepening the relationship with yourself, you're trying to figure out why. You're trying to figure out where that has stemmed from with the Hermit card. You're trying to observe yourself, and not just externally. You're trying to observe, where certain habits come from. And hopefully in regards to like releasing the ones that don't fulfill you or allow you to fulfill your destiny. Let's see what else for pile number 4, please, Spirit. What else in the tarot? Thank you. Just do this one. The 5 of Pentacles. Yes, this is you take on so much because you don't want to experience the same things that you have experienced in the past, which is lack, not having. There's a certain material freedom that you have wanted in life that you don't feel as if you have control over. Again, that's why it felt like if you took your foot off the gas, things would decline in value. And that's simply not how things work. I don't know why I'm being told to say this, but earlier this year, 2022 is when I'm recording this video. In March, I took a month-long break from doing readings, from doing writing, from doing anything related to tarot. I needed a break, and I dealt with something similar of the fear of like, if I stop recording videos, that means no one's looking at my channel. That means no one is being alerted that I'm here. That means no one knows that I'm still doing what I'm doing. That instilled a little bit of fear within me. The fear comes from having a lack mindset. And I can be very honest with you, pile number 4, and letting you know that this is something that I have dealt with as well. And I hope that you feel the resonance. Just me letting you know that you are able to choose what mindsets you allow to inspire you. Whether you want to be inspired by your creativity, your abilities, your passion, your freedom even, or whether you want to be inspired by fear, by lack, by hardship, and just not an awareness of your abundance. And I feel like this is definitely how you are strengthening and deepening your relationship with yourself. It's like you know what it is that you need, especially with all of the alignment and the cards and everything. I feel like this message is not unfamiliar or foreign to you necessarily. And you know that your mindset, your feelings around your material wealth and your material goals, you know that is what keeps you working as hard as you do, keeps you from being free, keeps you from being relaxed. It keeps you held hostage, again, in a certain belief and a certain mindset. So with the Hermit here and the Five of Pentacles, you started with the Queen of Pentacles. Let's make that clear again, that you're very abundant and you know how to nurture the abundance that you receive. Even if you don't feel like it is a lot, I still feel like for you to be deepening your relationship right now, you are getting to the root of something and knowing like, I'm trying to appreciate what I have now. I'm trying to appreciate what I gained from the work that I have done. And I'm trying to remind myself that I don't have to work myself into the ground to get more. I just know that I have to show up. I have to show up every day for myself and exploring what it is that I want to do. Every day. Every day. And I feel like this is how you are building trust with yourself, because you've trusted yourself and taking on whatever it needs to be taken on. You definitely giving yourself the responsibility. You know you can handle certain, again, hardships, things that are difficult, heavy to carry, that take a lot of energy as well. So you know what you're capable of, but I feel like you also are trying to build this awareness of what you are capable of in a different way. Let's see. One last tarot card. Please, Spirit. One last tarot card. No, those are 3. I just need one more tarot card, please, for pile number 4. What are we going to do about the 5 of Pentacles and the 10 of Wands? For pile number 4. That one. And at the bottom of the deck, you have the 2 of Cups. This depiction feels very interesting to me, so I'm going to read that separately. The Hierophant. Wow. So this is why we had all the 7s coming out for you. This is a spiritual transformation for you, where you are going to be understanding things very differently than you are used to. What does this mean? The Hierophant typically can talk about higher learning, having an evolved state of learning, learning things about energy, how to, attract, how to also allow. I think the allowing energy that you have here is very much so spiritual. It is an allowing to let the universe show up for you. And that is a level of trust that you're still learning about as well. Allowing the universe to take on some of the heavier loads, allowing things to work out, again, in divine order, naturally. So these are spiritual learnings for you. It is connected to you spiritually in a way that may not make sense to other people, because, again, people are stuck in the grind culture. And I feel like you are trying to break down the walls of this, because you built it up around you. I'm pretty sure were convinced that the grind culture was going to be more fruitful than it actually was. And so you're understanding how that has put a lot of weight and responsibility on your shoulders, and you want to let that go. This, I see it clearly. This is how you are deepening your relationship with yourself, because you want to be able to wake up slowly. I don't know where that's coming from. You want to be able to wake up slowly. You want to be able to have a morning routine, not what it looks like for everyone else. It'll be very specific to you, of course, pile number 4, but I feel like there's something about you want to take things more slowly with the earth energy here. You want to have a relaxing day to day. And that's absolutely not too much to ask for. It's absolutely possible for every single one of us, every person, every human, every being. We are allowed to have that. But us as humans, we've made it complicated. And so how do you uncomplicate this? I feel like even though you want to have a direct first step, I feel like it is connected to your awareness and you being more aware and you actually being intentional about gaining more awareness around the energy that you're holding on to. With the Two of Cups at the bottom of the deck, it is not typically depicted how the Rider-Waite, the traditional tarot cards, are depicted, which I love because people will see the Two of Cups as romance and love, but I see this now as you taking this cup that you used to have, you overpoured into this cup. And it was, again, in honor of the grind, in honor of the grind culture. And you're now pouring it into a new cup, a different cup that feels more harmonious, that feels like it can hold the energy that you seek. With this being at the bottom of the deck, I think you're trying to surrender to just letting go of how you used to fill up your cup, how you used to find joy. Again, I'm not saying, like, you're a very hard worker, and I feel like some part of you may have found great joy in being this person, being able to show up and people say, wow, you really took control over your responsibilities. You really came in and you knew what to do. This also feels like, I'm just going to say it, this also feels like, for some, moving from a traditional 9 to 5 with all the responsibilities of whatever that role takes, and moving more into an entrepreneurial role where you still have you have even more responsibility, some may say, being an entrepreneur, but you get to tackle those responsibilities how you want. You get to be playful in it. You get to, again, timeline versus deadlines. You get to decide. You have a choice in that. So for some, I feel like that is also what is taking place in your life right now. And you're trying to learn how to get out of the mindset of the worker bee and more into the mindset of the queen bee. We have the Queen of Diamonds here, the queen bee births what the hive needs. And in that respect, she's then taken very well care of. I don't know why that specific example showed up, but that is what I see. That's what I see within the tarot, is there being a transformation of responsibilities and how you take them on, and how this is deepening your relationship with yourself. It's building trust. You're going to trust yourself now to not lead yourself into burnout, which is what the Ten of Wands absolutely can represent. You're going to trust that the things that don't work out were out of your control from the very beginning, and you don't have to beat yourself up about those things. You are building a level of play within your relationship with yourself where you get to do your nails if that's what you're into. You get to, again, have a morning routine, which you probably haven't had in some years and you're missing it. You get to meditate. You get to do things that relax you, that prepare you for the responsibilities of the day. I feel like this is a huge change that you're absolutely looking forward to. You're looking forward to being more creative in the day as well. I think this is something that you miss because you've had to be so responsible. And this is also drawing you closer to your spirit guides. It's drawing you closer to your higher self. It's drawing you closer to your spiritual practices, your spiritual realm of support as well. Because the universe is here supporting you in this. They are encouraging you to let things be, to let things happen. Not to you, but for you. Especially with the Five of Pentacles. If something falls away, if something is not fruitful, if something does not produce the things that you were expecting, it means that it's time to pivot into something that feels more relaxing and less you trying to make something happen, you trying to make something appear. I think as you allow, the responsibilities will not dissipate. You will have things that you will want to take care of. That's the part. It's like you're gonna want to take care of it. You're gonna be passionate about it because you're gonna feel inspired by those next steps. And all of this, I see it all aiding in the deepening of the relationship with yourself, because this is what you want. You've been, like we saw the magician at the bottom of the deck, you've been manifesting this for yourself, even though you wish that you knew more or that you had more information. Okay. Ooh. Pile number 4. I see a card, but I'm going to put it back and keep shuffling. Lavender and mint tea. So this deck is a very special deck, just like the Dear Self deck that we used. It simply has, what is this deck called? It is Tea Time. It is Tea Time Oracle. And so it has, each card has a recipe for you to either make or to just experience and listen to, in order for you to connect deeply with yourself and to build trust in yourself. It's kind of like, I don't know why I'm explaining it this way, but it's kind of like you getting an assignment. That's optional, of course. That's how they used to do in school. You have an assignment that can be optional for you to fulfill for extra credit. And I feel like this is a good example of that. Whether you want to make the tea or not is up to you, but it is here for you to help deepen your relationship with yourself. So one card, please, for pile number 4. Just one. Okay. We'll do the one that flipped over and leave the rest. There's quite a few that wanted to come out. Okay. I'm just looking at all of the... So you had mango, raspberry, and ginger tea. You had peach, ginger, and green tea. And you had echinacea tea as well. Okay. And then I'll read the bottom of the deck as well, in case you want 2 different kinds of beverages that you'd like to make for yourself. Pile number 4. So you have cardamom, rose, and borage tea, or borage. In a pot, place a spoon of rose petals, a spoon of borage flowers, and 6 cardamom pods. Pour 1 liter or quart of boiling water into the pot and steep for 10 minutes. Add some honey if desired for sweetness. And this will help you with any kind of cleansing that you need in your life at this time. When it comes to cleansing, as I mentioned in the other piles, this can be good for clearing any habits that are subconscious to you, any habits that you feel like you cannot release, that you cannot let go of. Cleansing any energy that makes you feel as if you have no choice in life and that you just have to take on all of the responsibilities of the world because no one else will. I know that is a really, a big task for a tea to take on, but I think cleansing our bodies physically can help us to, or encourage us to cleanse our bodies energetically as well. And so this is a good holistic natural tea to help you in the aid of that. And at the bottom of the deck, you have rhubarb spice tea. I believe I said that correctly. With relaxing, which we know is really big for you right now and what you're trying to manifest. Cut 10 stalks of rhubarb and place in a pot with 1 liter or quart of water and 3.5 cups of sugar. You can take that how you want. You don't have to add that much sugar. But it says simmer on low for approximately 2 hours or until syrup develops. Allow to cool. Boil 1 liter of quart of water and place 2 star anise, 1 vanilla pod split lengthwise and scraped, and 4 Earl Grey tea bags to brew for 10 minutes, then cool. Pour rhubarb syrup into a jug, add the tea mixture, and stir. Serve in ice-filled glasses. This sounds so good. And of course, I was talking about the sugar, but boiling it down into a syrup sounds really good. It sounds like this is a really relaxing tea. If you're into making it, if you're interested and you actually do it, I would love to hear about it. And I would love to hear about how it has helped you to relax, if at all. But this is your reading, pile number 4. I don't feel like I sense any other energy to be mentioned. But I hope that this reading did all that it was intended to, which is to help you to see and observe how you are currently or will be currently deepening the relationship with yourself. I see this as a very creative time for you, and I hope that you feel that energy. I hope that this reading resonated strongly for you. If it did, please give the video a big thumbs up. I would greatly appreciate it. It would help out my channel a lot. You can leave a comment down below, again, if you've done the tea, or if you just want to let me know how you enjoyed the reading and to communicate with other pile number 4s. I will also leave link down in the description box my link to the newsletter where I release a monthly zodiac reading, just for you to catch up on the energy of the month and to know what to be prepared for during each season. And pile number 4, again, I enjoyed giving you this reading. I'm so glad that you were here to witness it today, and I can't wait to see you in another reading. Peace.